This is the Big O Show. 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 This is.
When protecting your family is your priority, there's nothing more important than a roof above the people you love. Call Tommy B. Butts Jr. Enterprises.com. 954-735-9826 or 954-394-1411 and ask to speak to Tommy, the owner. They specialize in all kinds of roofs, led by their highly crafted, skilled, and professional roof mechanics. All of their previous customers have an opportunity to enter their bi-weekly drawings to receive free an exterior impact metal door. Please call for more details. That's Tommy B. Butts Jr. Enterprises.com, 954-735-9826 or 954-394-1411. Trust Tommy to fortify and protect what's most important to you, your family. Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane, Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
Why is it that you get locked out in the worst moments of your life?
Where are my car keys? Man, I can't find my house keys.
In those frustrating moments, you need a locksmith you can count on. A. Lenny Locksmiths in South Florida, from Miami to Port St. Lucie. In Central Florida, A. Lenny locks it down in Orlando and Tampa Bay. Lockouts or lock changes for home or business. Car key replacements and programming all model cars. 24-hour service. Call them at 855-869-5625. Go to the website at alennylocksmith.com.
Oh, great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them. With Slogans, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation. Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house!
Get out of the house! Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
Red, an infrared light, has the capacity to penetrate deep into the cell's mitochondria, potentially leading to increased energy, faster recovery, and the optimal performance your body demands. Red Recover can maximize your efforts by potentially improving cellular metabolism, blood circulation, and muscle recovery. Evolve your training and step into the new era of muscle recovery. Red Recover.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
The Big O Radio Show is brought to you by Sports Grill. Good food, good drinks, good friends. Craig Zinn Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealership in the Southeast United States. The Fort Lauderdale Police Department. The FLPD is hiring. Go to FLPDjobs.com.
comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Good morning, boys and girls, and welcome aboard to the program. It's a Tuesday. We are live at Hialeah Park, normally Thursdays, but this week, as you all know, we are headed out on the road. We're going to Flagler Beach up in the Daytona area. We're going to be out at Tortugas, broadcasting live. You saw Scott Fox yesterday. Scott and Paul, by the way, I forgot. I can't forget Paul. So Scott and Paul were with us on the show yesterday. How about that view yesterday, huh?
2 thumbs up.
Yeah, definitely. Looking forward to that. So Thursday and Friday we'll be broadcasting up in Flagler Beach. Poor us, huh? And Monday, yes, and Monday. But I mean, that's why we're not going to be here on Thursday. So that's why we're here Tuesday, and they were great to accommodate us. And we are blessed to be here at Hialeah Park. Plenty of tables to hang out. Lovely ladies here to serve you all kinds of food, delicious food. We got the second floor poker room, all the TVs going, so you can keep up with any sports going on. And of course, if you want to gamble on some races across the country, you can do all of that. So plenty of things to do out here at Hialeah Park and plenty of entertainment. So come on by. I keep saying it. If we can start making this a thing on Thursdays and you guys start coming out here, I will start. We have a ton of sponsors now, thank the Lord. I'll get prizes from all of them. I'll start getting giveaways. But we got to get people out here. You know what I mean? That'll be cool, so we could do all that kind of stuff. This is the perfect place where, during breaks, we can talk, take pictures, all that kind of stuff. Just a great vibe. We have like our own private area here in this second floor. So I want to see if we can encourage people. If you're hanging out in South Florida, you're relaxing during this time on Thursdays normally. Let's try to make this more of a tradition, man. It'll be actually a really, really cool thing. So appreciate all of you out there as always. We got a bunch of people to talk to. We got a bunch of things to talk about. First of all, yesterday, the Avalanche completed the sweep of the Oilers with that 6-5 win. Amazing. Tonight, they will continue the Rangers-Lightning series, and Rangers are leading 2-1. Lightning came back to win that game in Game 3, so we'll see what happens tonight if they're able to even up that series. But wow, I just the Colorado Avalanche, man, just Oilers can't get it done, dude. What?
But the Avalanche were,
monstrous.
They're just. I don't know if anybody in the East can even.
No, but I mean, Tampa would be the one because they are.
Tampa's a storyline, right? Because
right.
They're going for 3 in a row. And
right.
They're trying to.
Right.
I wouldn't say it's David versus Goliath, but right now Colorado's playing at the top of the game.
They're at another level right now, but Tampa's got that great storyline of going for 3 in a row and the experience of being in that position.
True.
So it's like every time, like you count them out. Like right now with the Rangers, they came back and won that game, and if they win tonight and even up the series, it's like okay, they're back, and so yeah, it would be interesting. I'd like to see Tampa. Nothing against the Rangers. Not that I really root for any no,
right? Gerard Gallant's in the Rangers now, right?
But any New York team I'm not rooting for.
No, I don't know. It's
but the storyline of Tampa going up against the Avalanche and them going for their and if they can get their third straight against that Avalanche team, that would be an incredible accomplishment. Yeah. So the storylines to all of that would be really, really cool. So I'm going for Tampa. And I guess,
Well, you know what that means, right? You're going for Tampa. That means the Rangers are heading. Congratulations, New York Rangers. Yeah. I'm going to do it right now.
That's actually
Congratulations to New York Rangers. I know how this is going to go.
That's actually true because lately it's been just – although I did
get
the
last one you got. Yes, the last one you got. It was the road leading up to the last one.
Yeah. So let's see what happens. But I would love to see a Tampa Avalanche finals. For those of us that give a shit about what's going on in the NHL, playoffs. But tonight,
all 12 of you on the chat.
Yeah, exactly. Rangers are, by the way, the over and under is 5.5 goals for tonight. The Lightning are favored by a goal and a half. Lightning are minus 180 on the money line, and the Rangers are plus 150 in the money line. So there you go. All right. Pat Riley spoke yesterday. And let's go over some of his comments because there's a lot of things that he addressed, from Duncan Robinson to Kyle Lowry to Bam Adebayo to seeing what I see. First of all, let's start off with, do you need another star on the team? Because that's the one that a lot of people want to know. You know, when you watch that team, they're fun to watch. They were an excellent team. They had a great year. They maximized that roster. Spo did a marvelous job to get them to the 7th game of the Eastern Conference Finals. The one thing that stood out to me was, and I've said it already several times, they need another star next to Jimmy Butler. I don't believe that star exists on this team now. Well, Pat Riley was asked that question yesterday. Do you need another star on the team? And here was his response.
I think we all realize that you can always use more, especially when you've gone through a season and then you've gotten the result. Then you begin to really analyze the result and why it wasn't as good as maybe you thought it should be. And so we're always going to try to improve the team, and I think that's what it's about. It's about continually growing and taking your hits, dealing with them, going home, and taking your wins and enjoying those and going home. But it's 106 games that we played, and we did a lot of great things. So I don't want to take away from anything that this team has done in these individuals. As to your question, do we need another? If there's one out there, throw them to me. But you can always use more, but it's got to be a good fit, but not at the cost of doing something that could be sort of prohibitive. So we will look, we will explore. We always do this. It's part of the business that we chose, and whatever the result brings after that season, then you might say we might need another this or another that, based on how the league is playing, other teams are playing and matching up with certain teams and stuff like that. So that goes into the equation, yeah.
All right, and so there's Riley addressing, and clearly he sees what I see, what a lot of you see. Jimmy needs someone else, someone that is better than him, someone that is his equal, but he needs somebody that he can rely on and someone that is as reliable as he is. And I would like to add that person also, he has to be able to shoot. And I'm talking about shoot threes on a consistent basis. That's the only thing. That's the requirement, that if you're going to get a Robin to his Batman, or he's going to be the Robin and the other person will be the Batman, that person must be able to shoot. That I can tell you. You got to have somebody. You can't have two alphas that aren't great three-point shooters. So, Jimmy's an alpha. There is no other alpha on the team. Bam Adebayo has not developed into an alpha. He does address the Bam thing, and we'll get to it. But I think he sees what a lot of us see. And if that star becomes available, I'm convinced that the Miami Heat are going to make a move this year. On the next one, well, one of the things a lot of us are worried about is age. And I was worried about that from the second they signed Lowry and Butler. While I am a big Butler fan, I'm not a big fan of that contract because of all the mileage he has on that body. I certainly was not a fan of the Lowry contract at his age. You know, one of the reasons why I tell you there isn't another alpha on this team, it's because Kyle Lowry has never been an alpha. And in Toronto, that was tried over and over again. That's why they had to go out and get an alpha, okay, so they can win a championship. Because the two guards they had that were powering that team every year weren't ever good enough because neither one was an alpha. Both guys are Robins on their best days. And I'll give his teammate credit. In Chicago, he had like an MVP season this year being a two-point shooter, which is pretty amazing that DeRozan can do that. But DeRozan and Lowry never proved that they were alphas. They always proved that they were Robins in Toronto, and that's why they needed that superstar. And so now at 36, overweight and out of shape, there's much less of a chance that he could ever be the alpha that Jimmy needs. So you got to go out and get it. But the problem also is age. So Lowry needs to lose weight, needs to get in shape, but he's also at a serious age already in his mid-30s. And so is Butler. And so is PJ Tucker. So now you're talking about how old are you? Do you need to tweak this team? Riley was asked, is this team too old? Do you need to get young?
We're young. We got a lot of good young pieces, and those young pieces got hurt too. You know, I don't want to really talk about, injuries, but, the kind of soft tissue injuries that are happening on a regular basis in the NBA, it's almost like it's chronic. And the catastrophic injuries aren't as much, but guys are missing time for, so these soft tissue injuries, and I can call them soft tissue injuries because whether it's a hamstring or a groin or a calf or something, guys are sitting out missing time. So it was untimely for us to have some of those at a time when you wanted everybody healthy. So as far as the age of the roster, I think our roster is, pretty almost perfect from a real veteran age standpoint where players can play and contribute. And we got the middle group of guys that are starting to rise up, and then we got some real young guys. And even though we don't have that many real young guys, I just saw some young guys. I saw 6 of them upstairs, really young. But you have to be a little bit concerned about the injuries. And so, when you have injuries that derail your opportunity, we had that in the bubble. It was a direct hit to Bam. That wasn't an injury of attrition. It was a direct hit to his arm and the shoulder, and then Goran, got hurt, and so that hurt us. And these injuries, these soft tissue injuries in the playoffs, definitely hurt us too. But we still had a chance. You just sort of rise above it. And I think that's one of the great stories, this year is that we did find out a lot about other players when they were put in a position of having to play 25 to 30, 35 minutes. And it opens up your eyes to what the possibilities could be for them a year or two from now. And so there's this blend of when does it become perfect? And you never know it's ever going to become perfect until you win a championship. And then you'll say, that worked out at that time perfectly. And we dodged a lot of bullets along the way, and you can win a championship. So I've been through this a number of times, and I like the team that we have, and I like the core. And so let's see where we can go internally, and let's see where we can go if something presents itself, if that's a viable option. But I'm not really concerned about the age. I'm not, because there's more geezers in this league, playing at the top of their game, and so
didn't finish, right? Well, okay.
The LQ you gave me, he stopped. He paused for about 5 or 6
right,
seconds.
Yeah, and then he
continued.
continued.
Picked back up.
Yeah, then he continues. But basically, he's open to changes. He understands. But it's not so much about old or young. It's about the right pieces. Because it's not that PJ Tucker isn't the right piece. He's the right piece. He's not the problem, okay? Lowry is only a problem if he comes back in the same kind of condition. If he comes back in shape, he's not the problem. Part of the problem is, what do you subtract in order to add? And that's going to be the question about how you disrupt what you've got going on, because what you've got going on is good, but not good enough. And that's the key. It's not like the Celtics are going anywhere. The Sixers aren't going anywhere. The Bucks aren't going anywhere. So you've got to improve. And the regular season number 1 seed is great, but you weren't really the best team in the playoffs. And the Celtics proved that. And so now you know how good they are, so you're going to have to get better. And by doing that is by finding another star. So the question is, can Tyler Herro be that star? Can Bam Adebayo be that star? Or is it somebody else off this roster? Now, Tyler Herro says he wants to be a starter. So Pat Riley addressed that comment by Tyler, saying that he wants to be a starter. Here's what the team president said.
Well, I think his numbers speak for, him in his game, averaging 20 a game and, really shooting the ball well, developing a game that at times during the regular season's unstoppable for him to try to find a shot. He can find and create his own shots in a lot of different situations. So I don't even think he's here yet, really here yet as a full-time complete player. And I say that about a player that averaged 20 and shot 38% from three, can score in bunches, can score at the rim, can score on floaters, can score on pull-ups, can score on threes. He gets out on the break. And he's 22. He's 21, 22 years old. So, the next step for him, and I think we're seeing this in the league, if you want to win a championship and you want to be a starter, you really have to become a two-way player today. And you have to improve in certain areas of your game. Now, we all know that at one time or another, teams will always put a target on Tyler's back or Duncan's back or Max's back or somebody else that they think they can beat one-on-one on a switch. And so I saw improvement in his defense this year. He's got great feet. He's got quick feet, and he just needs to get stronger again, and another 10 pounds of muscle mass, and he just needs to get stronger from a leverage standpoint, because I think he still has a lot to the upside. But as far as being a starter, come to training camp and win it. Come to training camp and win it. Sometimes it's that easy, and sometimes, the fit, as Spo, talked about over the last 2 or 3 years, it was better for us coming in, balancing the energy of scoring and having somebody that can really control the ball. So if he wants to be a starter, we'll see in October. That's something that you earn, and there's no doubt that he has the qualities to be that.
There you go.
Pat wanted to ask you about Vic.
When you listen to him, he says, and this is a message for Tyler and a message for Duncan. If you want to be a champion, you want to be a starter in today's league, you got to be a two-way player. By the way, you really got to be a two-way player most of the time to be just a Heat player. But to be a starter, they can't have a guy that can score and then can't stop anybody. That doesn't make any sense. And so Tyler, obviously, we all know, and I agree with Riley. He did improve, and I said it throughout the year that the kid made an effort to improve defensively. He tried. He made some plays and everything. You can tell there was an effort by Tyler to be better defensively. So now he's got to take that next level where, that body is even more cut up. That body's stronger and more physical. But the message was also to Duncan Robinson. You got to be a two-way player. And that's the reason why you lost your playing time. Because Spo looked at it and said, I'm going to get more defense and offense from Caleb Martin. I'm going to get more defense and offense from Max Cruz. I'm only getting offense from Duncan. And lately, the offense has been spotty. And why? Because he's also limited offensively. People don't talk enough about that. That's what I love about the whole Duncan conversation from the Heat side. They talk, well, he's got to get better as a two-way player. Yeah, no, he's also got to learn to play off the ball. He's also got to learn how to attack the rim. He's also got to learn maybe a little post-up game. He's also got to learn to shoot a two-pointer. He's also got to learn how to dribble the ball, help create for himself, help create for others. Like, he is so limited offensively. It's amazing. Not just defensively. He's not even a one-way player. He's a limited one-way player. So that message was for Tyler. Get your ass in the gym. Get your ass in the weight room. Build your body up. Start playing real defense. And then you can be a starter. Because sure, you can score, but can you stop some people from scoring? And you're watching the two guys that the Celtics have in Tatum and Brown, and they can do everything. It's kind of what you want. So if Tyler wants to be that guy, you've got to show that. And that message was also to Duncan. Now, on Duncan Robinson, and while you hear the tone in one answer that you've got to be a two-way player, you've got to be a champion, a starter, you got to be a two-way player, you got to get better on defense, all of that. Now let's hear Pat Riley explain / sell Duncan Robinson when asked about Duncan Robinson.
It's the first playoff game this year. He got 27 points. He had 8 threes. And he's a specialist, and you can't win in this league without having him. You got to have some specialists, guys who can rebound, block shots, some guys that can make threes, at the rate that he can make them. But I saw improvement in his game now where he's going downhill. He's got to turn the corner on handoffs and on pick and rolls and things of that nature because he's being forced off the line. And so now the next part of his development is, going to the basket and finishing and making plays and being very aggressive that way. And we saw that this year. And it isn't just off of random offside, ball cuts or basket cuts where he scores too. So again, defensively, as a young player, even though he's not as young as some of the other guys, he's got to get better. And look, we hang our hat on that. I'm not going to say that, we lost the game because we had some horrendous 3-point shooting games or somebody missed a 3 or whatever it is. If you don't guard all 3 areas of the court, if you don't guard the 3-point line, if you don't guard 2-point shots, if you don't guard at the elbow, if you don't guard at the rim, if you don't guard in transition, if you don't defend by rebounding, by taking charges, by getting loose balls and winning that war every night, then you're always going to blame it on shooting or something. And so to me, yes, Duncan can improve. That message has been delivered to him many times. But that's where we as a team have to win. And we have to win defensively as well as what we can do from an offensive standpoint. So we have shown that this year that at times when we didn't shoot the ball well, that our defense carried us. And we have a good defensive team. And I'm not going to say that, because we had some bad 3-point shooting games, that was the reason, that we didn't get to the finals.
And bottom line, yeah, he's got to get better on defense. Now, you can't win without specialists. That's when you're selling the player too. Duncan Robinson, his days are numbered. And if Donovan Mitchell becomes available, he's going to be part of that deal. If somehow or another Bradley Beal decides that he doesn't want to be a loser anymore and Miami wants to trade for him, then Duncan will be part of that deal. Duncan Robinson is not a Heat player. And this is a window of a year or two. You don't have enough time to wait. And you don't have enough time to keep developing players. You've got to find the guys that can get you over the top. Right now, Duncan Robinson does not do enough to make you a better team. He only helps you in one area, and that's just not enough. Kyle Lowry. This is the one that we've been waiting for. Does Pat Riley see the same thing we all see when it comes to conditioning? How does he feel about Pat Riley? I mean, about Kyle Lowry. Let's hear from Pat Riley on Kyle Lowry.
You know, Kyle had a challenging year for a lot of reasons, and I don't have to get into them. They're personal. There are other things, but he had a challenging year with the move and everything earlier in the season with he had some injuries, missed some time, and then there were some personal issues. But look, at the bottom line with me and for me, as far as hoping that you can get the most out of a player, I don't have to go back and talk about it, is that you got to be in world-class shape. You just have to be. And that is something, as you get older, there's a point of diminishing returns as you get a little bit older, that when you're younger, you can do things in spite of that. But I'm not saying that when he was younger, he wasn't in the kind of condition that he was in this year, but he definitely is going to have to address that, and it will be addressed. And to get to what the perfect, overall conditioning for him to be successful, because he plays the game, in a manner where he needs his strength and his size. He's not Tyler Herro. He's not that lean kind of guy, but I think he can be in better shape. And, and I do believe that the pain of losing and the reminders that you send out about this, might change his mind a little bit. But I do think that he can be in better shape next year, and we'll address it, and we'll try to help him as best as we can, because it's not easy when you get a little bit older. So, but contrary to what he says, I don't think it was a wasted year. He said it was a wasted year. I mean, I've had that feeling myself as a coach, when you've done as much as you can do, and then you just sort of like, it was championship or bust for Kyle. He came here with that notion, and he's very, very disappointed in the fact that we couldn't get to the finals and win it. So he'll do whatever he has to do, I think, Ira.
Well, there you go, and I hope he does. As he was addressing Ira in the Kyle Lowry question, we got Ira to ask it to Riley, not to Kyle. He said, world-class shape. You can't look like me and be a point guard in the NBA. Okay? Street basketball, you and I can go out there, be your point guard. Sure. Disaster, but whatever. But not at the NBA level. And then when he said, reminders you sent out about this, talking about writers writing about this, people talking about this. So Riley kind of mentioned that too, that we're going to bring it up to him. We're going to help him, all that. But I'm sure he's going to read it from all you guys talking about it. So Riley was there. And I understand when he was saying that he needs his size and his strength. And I get that, because Kyle is not an athlete that is going to fly past you, over you, dunk on you. That's not who he is. He doesn't possess one of those kind of skill sets. So he's going to need his size a little bit to defend himself, but it cannot be a size where it is, blubbery like me. It has to be where you're a little bit more stout, but you're strong. You're cut up. You're a little more muscular, and he's never really been that guy. And so it's interesting when he says at the end, he'll do everything he has to do, Ira. So what kind of conversations have already gone on in the exit meetings? What has been said? What are the Heat going to do to help Kyle Lowry get to that point? That's the question. But he has to get there, and Riley knows that. Now, the other one is kind of a two-parter from an earlier question, if you need another star. So Barry Jackson, I believe, is the one that followed up on this one about needing another star. Riley elaborated a little bit more about what Butler may or may not need. Let's hear from the team president.
That's a valid question, and I think it's almost maybe a consensus around, the league, by people who know what they're talking about, who study the league and know what it takes to really be successful, from that standpoint. So, as I said earlier about that, Jimmy, has a very unique game. Not having Tyler, just having Tyler at his best, which could always, they could work off of one another and they can play together. But, and that's where, going back to Ira's question about Bam, maybe this is where internally now it's time to go in that direction with more responsibility. Now, if there's something from outside that avails itself that doesn't cost us an arm and a leg that could fit that bill, then I'd always be interested in looking at that. But I think we have what we need internally, but we'll see, from that standpoint. If you have a perfect, replacement or a perfect player, then why don't you text me? You don't even have my number, do you? My number? No.
Yeah, Barry
Pat,
doesn't
as you step
have
into summer league,
Riley's
and that's
number. And Riley and Barry, I'm not giving you Riley's number, so don't call me. Zoe and Timmy. Wade and Shaq. Wade, Braun, Bosch. Hell, you even added Ray Allen. Jimmy and who? And so, do you need that star? Hell yeah. And I know he is not going to. What I love about Riley is he plays the psychological game, Sean. And he's so smart because notice how he left it open that on both answers, the one to Ira and the one to Barry. Yeah, he's open to acquire one, but he doesn't do it this way where he says, we don't have it on. Like what I'm saying, they don't have it on this team. Robin or Batman is not on this team to help out Jimmy. But guess what he did? Left Tyler. You want to be a starter? You want to be the number 2? You want to be next to Jimmy? I don't know. It's up to him. Bam. Maybe it's time to give him, because he mentions it, give him 15 shots a game, get him all that. And when he said, maybe we got to go in that direction and we got to start giving Bam more responsibility in that soundbite. I'll ask you this. Remember what I asked you about Bradley Beal? Bradley Beal keeps saying, I'm happy in Washington. I don't want to go anywhere. You got to ask yourself, wow, dude, you don't want to win? You're happy in Washington? Because they're not winning in Washington ever. And there's no pressure in Washington. And there are no expectations for you there, Bradley. Is that what you really want? Instead of, I'm happy in Washington, you're really telling us, I'm happy, I have no pressure and expectations. I score 25 a game, everybody's happy because I'm doing my job. Who cares about everybody else? I'm getting my check. Is that what he is? So let me ask you something. The guy that wants to be the man, does he wait for his turn? Or is he bitching, throw me the ball, give me the ball, I want to start, I'm better than that guy? Because that's usually what I hear from those people. All those guys that think they're the best, they kind of tell you they're the best. They kind of perform like they're the best. They kind of say, I'm the best, play me more. They kind of throw these shots after games. Well, if I had the ball in my hands a little bit more, I'd be able to help this team out. I'd really like to help this team, but I didn't get the ball much tonight. I only got it 8 times. If I could shoot the ball 15, 20 times, I know I can make a difference. Have you heard Bam say that at all at any time? Because he's kind of content being where he's at. And that bothers me also. Again, Bam is fine the way he is, and you can win the way he is. But I understand what he is. So please, finish defining the man already. Because you keep telling me that he's going to grow into this, grow into this, grow into this, and I don't see it. So Riley can talk about it, but I think it was more a psychological ploy. One where he didn't crap on his current players. I'm not crapping on Tyler Herro saying he can't be a starter. I'm saying go earn it. Go show me you're a two-way player. I'm not crapping on Bam. I'm saying maybe this is the year where we start giving him 15 touches. Question is, Bam, do you want it? How badly do you want it? Show us. Because Bam's not going anywhere. Now, Tyler and Duncan, that might be a whole different conversation. So when you ask him, do you need a star? Oh, he's open to it. You can tell he's open to it. And deep down inside, I think he feels exactly the same way I do. They must have that player. One final cut to go over. The altercation earlier in the year between Butler, Spo, and UD. Riley was asked about that because they did not have access to him throughout the year after that incident took over. Riley elaborates on that incident.
From a player all year was, I don't know, something happened. There was an altercation with Jimmy and some other player on another team. And he just threw up his arms and he said, oh, let's just go brawl. Let's go to the back parking lot and brawl. But, getting back to that one incident, it happened and it was handled quickly and they got beyond it. And that's this league. There's a lot of passion in this league when it comes to winning. And I think a lot of the players today, they have a lot more input. And he's smart as hell. He's got a tremendous basketball IQ about how the game should be played, how you respond to people, how you talk to each other. I think there's a great respect on our team for each other, but we got some real, as Bam calls them, dogs in that locker room. And, when things don't go well, they get to snapping at one another. And so, it can't be a regular occurrence, but that happened to happen in public. It's happened to me before. And, and I got into an argument one time on the bench with a player that he wanted me to go to the locker room. And I was trying to throw him out. He was, no, you go to the locker room. And then, no, you got to go to the locker room. And I said, no. I said, I get to throw you out of the game to the locker room. He said, no, I'm not going. I said, so what am I going to do? I have to wait till after the game. So I'm not poo-pooing that. I didn't like it. They didn't like it. Spo didn't like it. I don't think anybody liked it. But you take a look at what's going on in the championship series right now. I mean, these teams want to win so bad that, I think the sparks have just begun to fly. But there will be a winner, and it won't be the one that yells the most or fights the most. It's going to be the best team. Yeah.
Stuff happens,
Coach,
and I'm
good
sure
to see you,
plenty of
Pat.
stuff happened under Riley too, and he had his share of altercations and disagreements with players. Hell, Riley and Shaq almost went fisticuffs once. They had to be separated. So this is something that happens in pro sports, and it happens a lot. But Riley was able to air a lot of grievances yesterday, and I think the The good thing is, and I think one of you posted this on the chat board, I wish every team in South Florida had a Pat Riley. And yeah, you're right. Every team in South Florida would be in exceptional hands if Pat Riley is running your organization, because he's a man that understands his sport, understands, the business of basketball. It's just hard to find those Pat Rileys, man. Those Jerry Wests, those Ozzie Newsomes, those kind of dudes are the Dave Dombrowskis of the world. These kind of dudes are few and far between, man. And we're lucky to have. We had Shula here for many, many years, and you just weren't able to get another one, right? And now you've had Riley for many, many years. This is why when we push Shula out, and I've seen people try to push Riley out and say, oh, the sports passed him by. I will never do that. I learned my lesson with Don Shula. And we said, oh, the old man and the game's caught up to him. On Shula's worst years are still better than most of the years the Dolphins have had the last 20. So when anybody tries to tell me, oh, no, Riley's losing, I'm like, no, Riley can leave whenever the hell he wants to leave. I hope it's never, but he can leave whenever the hell he wants to leave, because this guy's never going to push him out. All right, let's move on. Let's talk to Cameron Wolfe. We got a lot of things going on in the NFL. The Dolphins, little mini camp action going on this week. Let's get to our KSDT CPA Miami Dolphin and NFL report with Cameron Wolfe.
We unleash the Wolf Pack as we get the latest in the NFL and the Miami Dolphins with our KSDT CPA Pro Football Report with NFL Network insider Cameron Wolfe. KSDT is one of South Florida's largest and one of the country's fastest growing accounting firms. KSDT CPA is a full-service firm that also excels in crypto. Visit them at ksdtcpa.com or call 305-670-3370. Here's NFL insider Cameron Wolfe.
All righty, there he is. Good morning, Cam. How you doing, my friend? You doing all right?
I'm good, Big O. How you feeling, man?
I'm feeling a lot better than the Browns because, boy, 24 now. The 24th was also very, very disturbing when you read the account and everything that went on. And, whether it's true or not, I don't know. But I'm just so glad that it's not here. And I've been here, from beginning to end and watching all the controversies we've had here over the years and the embarrassments that this franchise has gone through. They dodged a bullet here and not being involved in this mess. This is a mess that no matter what, it ends up being a bad look for the league and for the Browns.
Yeah, man. This is it's rough to look at, honestly. Like, we're in a society where we talk about sports. So it's a weird topic because every time you watch TV, and luckily since the Dolphins moved on, and I haven't had to talk a lot about the topic, but when you hear people talk about it on TV, it's always a quick mention of the legal issues and then talking about when he's going to get back on the field, what's the suspension looking like, everything's in reference to football. And I understand why. We're football reporters. We report about football. But still, the reality of the case is 24 women have accused this dude of doing some pretty sick stuff. And so, to me, that should be the priority. And I think it would be hard to be a Browns fan and have to swallow that stuff and know this is the guy you just paid $30 million guaranteed to and be happy with that, And look, the Browns were not alone. There were at least 3 other teams who were going to be willing to give up that the first round picks, not the salary, but the first round picks to be able to go get them. So, they aren't the only team that said, hey, we're willing to deal with it. But man, this is a lot to be willing to deal with. And so I'm not sure there's any team that's having a rougher June at this point than the Browns, just simply because their star quarterback continues to be in the news for what he's, alleged to do to women. So yeah, I mean, from the Dolphins perspective, I would much rather as a Dolphins fan be arguing about whether or not Tua can throw it 50 yards versus 70 yards compared to whether or not Deshaun Watson did what he's alleged to do It's all these
Can you
women.
imagine that, dude? You're not covering football anymore. It's just going to be
Yeah.
all about, the circus of everything, and that's what Bullygate turned into, and all the other things, and hell, they Stephen Ross already has a lawsuit that he's dealing
Yeah.
with behind the scenes.
And by the
So
way, that's still very alive and going on. I know we haven't talked about it a bunch, but at some point that's going to rear its head again. So you want as much as possible. And I think about this because I did a lot of Jags covers last year, and talking to people back in Jacksonville, they were just tired that every time they were talked about, it was negative non-football stuff.
Oh,
And
we've
I
been
remember, like, hey,
dude, we've been
like
at that for
like it
20 years here. 20 years here
right.
we've been
So
at
it's like,
that, dude.
at the very minimum, talk about us on negative football stuff. Like, if we suck, just talk about us being bad at football. But
Right.
being negative and being off the field, that's like a double whammy. And so, they did this to themselves. It's not really like oh, woe is me. The Browns, they decided to make this decision. They decided that it was worth the PR to get a player like Deshaun, who, when he's on the field, he's a top 5, top 7 quarterback. They decided it was worth it. And so because of that, they got to deal with everything. And honestly, I don't think it's enough. I think there should be more discussions about it, more backlash, because honestly, it's serious. I mean, like, look, I know the circumstances are different, but I remember when Michael Vick got arrested for the dogfighting stuff, right? And
Yeah.
so there was like days and weeks and months of every single day, the top topic was Mike Vick and dog fighting, day after day, day 56, day 58. And even when he came back 2 years later, it was continual there. And so I just hope that.
Can I tell you something really disturbing, my brother? And I don't know if you want to dance with me here. You may not want to, because I go to areas that most people aren't willing to go. PETA's a hell of a lot more passionate about animals than the NFL is about women.
I think based off history, that's not wild to say. I mean,
I know, but
like
not enough people are talking about that. The way the whole Ray Rice situation. To me, I'm baffled that women even watch football the way they are. The way men have treated women in football, and the way men have been able to get away with treating women in football. Up until now. Now it's finally it's caught up to them to a point where, because it's become now so much more public and everything's a little bit more of a PR machine nowadays. Everybody worries more about image and all that kind of stuff. Back in the day, they could sweep things under the rug and forget about it. But that's, the PETA people are very passionate about animals.
Right. And I get it. I get it. Animals. I get it. Some people consider animals as people. I'm not one of those people. I'm not an animals or people person. But I grew up in a. I grew up in a. I grew up in a different one.
I am.
South, so.
My 5 dogs are better than most human beings. I'm sorry.
I get you. That's what I'm saying. There are certain people who are like that. I'm not one of them. So to me, like, I just remember how much backlash she got for that. And to me, it's, like you said, it's more than some people get for what they're alleged to do to people, and especially women. And so to me, that's bothersome. So, like, from a media perspective, that's why when people were like, oh, how long do we talk about this? As long as the topic needs to be talked about. I mean, these are people. These are women he's alleged to be assaulted. So, like, the long story short, it's not a good month to be a Browns fan. And I know there's 24 right now. Does anybody believe that this is the end? Like, would anybody be shocked if this ends up being 25 or 26? Just kind of given what we've seen about his alleged history of being able to reach out to these women via IG, like, this number can keep growing. So if the Browns made this trade thinking that, okay, all of it's behind us, that was a big mistake on their part.
Oh, yeah, big time. Not only that, it gets worse. Now the talk is they're thinking of trying to keep Baker for the whole season now because of this mess. So imagine the guy you dissed to trade for, now you need him in order, because the Browns do actually, all this mess aside, taking the quarterbacks out of the picture, the Browns are actually a good team. They have enough talent that if you get any competent quarterback, should be able to take the Browns to the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? So for them, they're like in a position like, oh my God, if we're going to lose this guy for 6 games, 8 games. Who knows? Maybe the whole year. Maybe the NFL gets pissed off because, as you know, his first year salary is like $1 million or $2 million or something stupid.
Yep.
So
Yep. They put it all on the signing bonus.
Right.
Almost
They put
all
in the
his money
signing
is in the
bonus.
signing bonus.
Right. So the NFL is going to have to get creative with their fining because they say, "Oh, you're suspended for the year end salary." Well, that's $1 million or $2 million. That's a joke. And they did that to circumvent this crap. And so this is, the Browns are in a position like, man, we actually built a good team with or without Watson. We need a quarterback. Right. Dude, they may have to settle with playing with Baker Mayfield again. How crazy is that?
Wouldn't that be a story, and knowing how kind of petty and prideful Baker Mayfield is, I can just imagine, the press conferences with Baker, especially if he starts winning. Oh. I can see him just saying whatever.
Yeah.
And so, that's the situation the Browns absolutely do not want to get into. But the reality is that Deshaun Watson is probably going to be suspended, and he deserves to be suspended at whatever it is, the game-wise. He deserves to be. So you're going to have to play somebody. And so Jacoby Brissett or Baker Mayfield. And so, this is the reality that they signed up for. They felt like this was their way of getting out of quarterback purgatory, and they felt like dealing with this was worth it. And so they got to deal with everything that comes with it.
Well, one more NFL note before we get to it, and this is why I didn't want to waste my time. One, I didn't think it was realistic ever. But look, Deebo Samuel, after holding out, after saying he wanted to trade, he's reporting to San Francisco camp, and he wasn't going to get traded here to Miami. So why waste your time talking, writing about all this stuff when it was just so unrealistic?
Yeah, now the reality is Tyreek Hill was their big receiver splash. And I kept telling fans that, and everybody gets caught up in the names, right? And that's why, everybody continue to ask me about some of these bigger names. Like we were asking me about Tyrann Mathieu for about a month, and J.C. Tretter's been going on for 3 months. And so everybody gets obsessed with the name. And Deebo Samuel was the one for a while. Like the reality is they paid Tyreek Hill $30 million a year. They got Jalen Waddle, who they just essentially used 2 first-round picks on, and they signed Cedric Wilson. No matter how much you love receivers, that's as much as they're going to allocate to that position in a premium level. So, the San Francisco 49ers are going to try to make it work with Deebo. I hope they do, because that's the best spot for him. I think that he can thrive under that Kyle Shanahan system. Now they got to pay him, but I think that that's the best spot for him. I think Dolphins fans, you got one of the top, probably I would say, we got to see him on the field, but top 3, top 4 receiving group as far as talent going into the season. So you should be plenty good. But I think that largely a lot of these things are just rumblings. Occasionally there's a little surprise, like the A.J. Brown thing surprised me, him getting traded. But otherwise, I think most of these guys typically work it out. You find a way to stay.
Although the A.J. Brown, while it freaked me out for a moment, I figured it out after. You're getting rid of Ryan anyway. Malik is going to be your developmental guy.
Yeah, run heavy offense.
Yeah, why are you A.J. Brown?
And he's also a guy, although he's big, physical, tough, he has had some injury issues. And so, sometimes teams get a little iffy about paying that big money to a guy who, may be on the field at 80% of the time instead of 100%. So
if you're going in the direction of Malik, it was a super smart trade on their part, actually. Super smart.
It's not a move that makes you. It's not a move that makes you better in 2022 at all, but maybe in 2024 you're a better team because of that move. And like I mentioned earlier, it's a team that gave their general manager and their coach a new extension. So it's a group that is willing to think long term instead of just this year.
Foresight, bro.
It's foresight. Because they got security, So
yeah, it's foresight. It's actually really, really smart. All right, on the Tua thing, before I let you go, just to get into this silliness, we got to stop, bro. This whole thing about his personality and that he's got to open up more, and then he's got to get to know people and all this stuff. And Omar, I know, is part of starting this fire, but I too many people are reserved in this world, and they're very successful in all walks of life. We didn't care that Ricky Williams didn't talk a damn thing. He was running for 1,800 yards here. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I know it's a condition he had, but Derek Jeter didn't have a condition. You just didn't get to know Derek Jeter. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just one of those things. It's all over the place in this world. There's plenty of people that are like that are successful. The question is, are you part of the success? If you are, then there's no issue here. So if the kid goes out and balls, everybody's going to forget about all this crap.
Right. So obviously I don't know who O talks to, and I've talked to some of my people on my own. Here's what I can say about Tua and his personality. He is guarded by nature, like he talked about. So I've talked to players over the last 2 or 3 years, and they mentioned, he's not Ryan Fitzpatrick in his personality, and I think that's one of the things that kind of like made people like talk about his personality, is because you had such a contrast when you had Ryan in here, where he's so jovial, everybody's his best friend. And that's not Tua's personality, but that's also fine. Like, there are people whose personality are different. I think it only becomes a topic if you are uncertain about him being the guy. And if there are concerns, then certain people bring up reasons on why. And so they're like, oh, well, maybe because he's not this, because he's not that. There are people in that locker room who accept him for who he's are. I've talked to several players this offseason who I've asked them, hey, what do you think about Tua as a guy? They're like, he's cool. He's his own man. We're not going to, be laughing it up 7 days a week at each other's house, but that's not my experience with every quarterback I played with. So I think that.
Hey, by the way, you think people are getting close to Marino?
Right.
No.
Right. Exactly.
No.
Exactly.
No. But by the way, do you think anybody still gets close to Marino?
Right.
No.
Right. Yeah, but
Come
the whole idea that he doesn't talk to anyone, I don't think that's true. I think that he has an outward personality. I've seen him. I've heard teammates tell me about him dancing and playing music and singing in the locker room, being one of the guys. Like, look, not to throw shade on anybody, at all, but just kind of from comparison perspective for all the viewers out there. I covered Josh Rosen when he was here, and so he was a guy who. He admitted he was somewhat introverted in nature.
Right.
But I think that one of his failures here was that he was just very solo.
He didn't communicate. Actually.
He was very individual. It was very singular focus. He may have had 2 or 3 people with very similar interests that he would talk to, but sometimes you would just see him kind of shut off from the team. Tua is not that way. Tua is not shut off from the team. He may not be the biggest personality or the biggest jokester,
but he communicates.
He communicates. So I think that there's always a middle ground for everything. Like, I don't think you have to be the most jovial dude, but to think that he's this asshole who just doesn't talk to anyone and just is that's not accurate from the people I talk to. So somewhere in the middle. And to me, as long as you're a good quarterback, I don't care if you're making a ton of jokes, or if you're just, you're just talking to people as needed. That's kind of how I view it, but other people may have different views.
No, I'm with you. That's why I find it really silly at this point, because he is a communicator, actually.
Right.
He's actually a big communicator. He's just not the guy that's going to be telling you all kinds of jokes all the time, and he's not going to go to the strip club with you and make it rain, and he's not going out to Club Live with you.
Hey, what's wrong? What's wrong going to the strip club?
I'm not telling you about the things I do. I'm telling you about what Tua won't do. Okay? I'm not talking about me. Obviously, I'm going to do anything and everything, but what I'm saying is I can't get Tua to come with me to Tootsie's. I just can't. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Hey, it's just I tried to get Sean to go to the White Rhino. Right? Is that what it's called over there in Vegas? And he wouldn't go. It's just one of those things. What are you going to do? Some of these guys are, they stay to themselves. There's nothing wrong with that, by the way. There's plenty of guys that are like that will stay home. Some guys will be just video game guys. That's it, dude.
Absolutely.
They go home.
There's nothing.
Yeah, that's it. They video game, they bake or whatever, and that's it. It's over. They're done.
Kind of on that, really briefly on that. It's an interesting topic you brought up that I think fans should know, because maybe they don't realize it. Players have more free time than you realize. And so I think people have this idea that players are up at the facility where they should be from 5 a.m. to 11 p.m. and they go home and sleep for 5 hours, get up and do another 16-hour day. The reality is that is not life. Maybe there's like 1 or 2 players. Maybe Tom Brady was like that. The rest of these guys, they have lives. And I think it's good for them to decompress in other ways. So like when there's this obsession with, oh, Tua golfs, or oh, this guy plays video games, or oh, this and that, I think the reality is I'm glad that these guys have their own interests outside of football. It makes them balanced. And also, I'd rather them have that than get in trouble in the streets till 2 or 3 a.m. to relax and decompress. So I don't see any issue with that. And like you said, everybody has their own way, their own route. And so I don't see any huge issue. And by the way, like, who knows? It's a player vote, but my expectation this year, since it was such a big deal last year, is that Tua becomes a captain this year. I know that was a thing last year, whether he wanted to or didn't want to and all that different stuff. I'm going to make a prediction here, Big O, that Tua is, along with probably Teron Armstead and maybe one other offensive player, are the offensive captains this year. And hopefully that'll maybe dissuade some of the Tua can't be a leader type mantra that comes out sometimes.
I laugh because I have on my notes here a Tua captain thing that I wanted to talk about, and I'm glad, because it's a segment that I'm gonna have dedicated to it. But I just want to, since you brought it up, you might as well let me enlighten some folks here on some stuff. Did you know Jimmy G was a captain? So how did they feel about him? They wanted to trade for. They went and drafted another guy for their captain. They told the entire team, hey, that's your captain, but he's not good enough. We went and drafted the future for him. Carson Wentz was a captain. How grateful of a position was that for Carson? Oh, he's a captain. Yeah, you sucked at the end of the year. You're out of here. So one captain, they told the entire team, yeah, he's the captain, but that's the future.
Right.
Okay? So now I just want to spin it, okay? Because this whole captain thing is so overblown bullshit. I'm so effing tired of all this stuff that goes on with Tua. So shed light, okay? I gave you two guys how this captain thing doesn't really mean anything. So now you put yourself in Tua's position. You know the guy that is coaching you didn't want you, didn't want to draft you, okay? All right? Doesn't like you, not in your corner. So why would you want to be captain for a guy like that? The guy that's going to embarrass you in front of everybody else, and you're the captain? No. If you're the captain, you're supposed to be like Mike McDaniel. You're supposed to be like Sean Payton. You're supposed to be supportive of your quarterback. Well, what did you do in midseason? You knew he went to play 18 holes of golf. You knew his hand was good enough to do that, but you still went with Jacoby Brissett and told everybody else he wasn't healthy enough to play. Until midway through that game, that Brissett was injured, and then Tua came in, looked pretty decent. You said, Brissett, stay there. I'm wrong. Why do you want to be captain for that?
So I know.
So my point is, let's not overblow this captain bullshit, because the teams don't take it serious. The head coaches don't take it serious. And if you're a player and you're going to be a captain for a coach, be a captain for a coach that is going to, support you. Why am I going to be your captain when all you're going to do is shit on me? And that's, if I'm Tua, that's what I'm thinking. So why would I want any part of this?
Right. So I know some of the thought process on what the captain deal was last year. I don't know all the reasoning, but I will say this. I'm more focused on him, like he mentioned, truly being himself than what that says, like whether it's a C on the label or whether somebody likes his personality or don't like his personality. You might not like my personality, Big O. I might not like it. Doesn't matter. As long as we communicate and get along, it doesn't matter.
All out, baby.
And so that's my view of it. Like I said, if I'm predicting, I'll predict that he is a captain this year, and maybe that makes people more comfortable. But I think overall, I would be more interested in hearing if he continues to be the guy that we heard last week, which is truly close to what he is with his people in his circle. Is he like that throughout the year? Is he fun? Is he free? Is he ranking on people? Is he, having a little swag, dropping his balls a little bit? Is he that guy when he needs to be? That to me is more important than.
Well, he's already doing it. He's already doing it, right?
If he balls out and stay healthy, to me, those are the elements that are important.
But he's already doing it. I know, but what I'm saying is you're going to see that. Why? You're already seeing it because the guy above him is allowing him to spread his wings, whereas the guy that was there before was kind of contracting everything. And by the way, not just him, that was kind of a thing throughout the building. There wasn't really a thing where you could be yourself, whereas now you got a guy that's allowing them to be themselves. And for all the people that think Tua doesn't have personality, doesn't open up, hell, right in front of you in the podium, he did that whole Tyreek Hill money thing. Come on, dude. You know what I mean? So that's the environment that he's in. When you're in an uncomfortable environment, Cam, you can't be yourself. And I think that's what it was last year or the last couple of years. He just could not be himself. I think we have more of a chance of seeing him being himself from here on out and opening up, like you said. You know?
Yes, indeed, indeed. Looking forward to seeing it. Today, by the way, is the final OTA practice of the summer that we get to see until training camp. So be out here, and then it'll be a little bit of gap. So I'm sure there will be more Tua stories in the middle of June to keep things flowing. Content.
In other words, on the 9th and the 10th, on Thursday and Friday, you don't get anything except stretching. That's it, right?
No, so we're only out there today. So the way it works,
yeah.
we only get during OTAs, we only get 1 day a week that we're out there availability wise. And they are out there. They're technically they were out there yesterday. They're out there today. And I believe it's Thursday, Friday, their schedule, or maybe it's Wednesday, Thursday, whatever the dates are.
It's Thursday, Friday. It's Thursday, Friday.
My guess, based on 7-8 years of covering this thing, they'll get off on Friday. McDaniel will probably tell them Thursday or maybe even today, hey guys, you did good work this off season. Take Friday off. Go ahead and get to where you are. Stay safe. So my guess is it'll be today, and then they'll have a Thursday OTA, which is closed for us, but will be their last day. So, and then they're on summer vacay until probably like the June 25th or 26th, I think is when they'll come back for training camp.
Follow him on Twitter at Cameron Wolfe. And, of course, catch him doing his thing there at the NFL Network, always rocking and rolling and covering our Dolphins. And catch him twice a week here doing our KSDTCPA.com Miami Dolphin and NFL report. Cam, thank you, my friend. Enjoy the afternoon.
All right, now. You too, Big O.
You got it, baby. There you go. Cameron Wolfe.
This has been the KSDT CPA Pro Football Report with NFL insider Cameron Wolfe. KSDT is recognized by Forbes as one of the top tax accounting firms for 2022. KSDT CPA is a full-service firm that also excels in crypto. Visit them at ksdtcpa.com or call 305-670-3370. When protecting your family is your priority, there's nothing more important than a roof above the people you love. Call Tommy B. Butts Jr. Enterprises.com, 954-735-9826 or 954-394-1411 and ask to speak to Tommy, the owner. They specialize in all kinds of roofs, led by their highly crafted, skilled, and professional roof mechanics. All of their previous customers have an opportunity to enter their bi-weekly drawings to receive free an exterior impact metal door. Please call for more details. That's Tommy B. Butts Jr. Enterprises.com, 954-735-9826 or 954-394-1411. Trust Tommy to fortify and protect what's most important to you, your family.
Oh, I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
Folks, you can support the hardest working sports talk show in South Florida through Cash App or Venmo. Just search Cash Big O Show. Support us through Cash App or Venmo. Cash Big O Show. We thank you for your incredible support.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your Inter Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or intermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inter Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
Sports Grill on Bird Road, Miami Lakes, and their newest location in Doral is now hiring. If you're looking to join a great company and South Florida institution, give them a ring or drop an email. Sports Grill is hiring all kinds of positions from hostess to servers, bartenders, or join the kitchen staff to craft some great food for their amazing customers. Please send your resume to m.cruz@sportsgrillmiami.com or call 305-219-5726. That's 305-219-5726. Sports Grill. Good food, good drink, good friends. The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
The Big O Radio Show is brought to you by Caneswear. Go to caneswear.com, where all orders over $99 get free shipping. Sloman's Total Home Security. Protect your home with the best in the business. 1-800-ALARM-ME for the company serving America for nearly 100 years. 1-800-ALARM-ME. Tommy B. Butts Junior Enterprises.com. Licensed roofing contractor. 100% financing is available. Go to Tommy B. Butts Junior Enterprises.com.
When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Live from beautiful Hialeah Park. Go to hialeahpark.com. Appreciate all of you out there, folks. Don't forget, please smash the hell out of the like button. Go to our, also subscribe to our backup channel, Big O Show Cuts, and subscribe to that. We want to get that to 1,000 as soon as possible. So please help us get to that. Let's get, is it at even 300 yet? It was close, right? Come on, man. Let's go. Let's get it over 300 at least. Let me see. Where are we at here? 292. Come on. Big O Radio Show Cuts. If you look for Big O Show Cuts, it'll come out. Subscribe, okay? Do me a favor. It's at 292. Let's get at least over 300 today. I want to get it to 1,000. We're going to do some live stuff on that one also. Things that will benefit all of you out there. So we have two different cameras. This one, because you can't put two different cameras on this channel, but if you have two different channels, you'll be able to do different things. So, and again, we're going to be able to put sound bites here that we're not going to put on the regular site, all that kind of stuff. So make sure you hit it. Appreciate all of you out there as always. I've been talking about Red Recover, and Red Recover promotes faster muscle recovery. So if you're working out, you need the healing time, and those of us as we get older, from sprains and strains, and whether you're a pro, you're an amateur, it doesn't matter, folks. RedRecover.com can help anybody and everybody. Hayden Hurst, professional tight end for the Bengals, he uses Red Recover on his daily recovery program to optimize performance on Sundays. You want his testimonial? Go to RedRecover.com. And it's ideal for anybody suffering from chronic pains like arthritis, neck, lower back discomfort. Only 15 minutes daily will bring about tremendous relief. You'll feel better without using medication, which is good. Red Recover is 100% natural. And guess what, folks? No side effects. Check out the website. Go to redrecover.com or on Instagram at red.recover. Use our discount code Big O to get 10% off. So if you want to relieve some pain, you want to use it after your workouts, you can buy the hat also to grow your hair back. Now remember, like my hair's starting to grow back here in the middle, and I've got all these little baby hairs that are growing, which is cool because it was kind of balding. And so now it's good to see that I'm getting some of the hair. Now, I'll tell you, I lost this hair within the last 2 years, so it's been able to grow some back already, which is nice. But here that it's been dead for many, many years is not growing back. Okay, so, it could work. It may not work. But it all depends. And for the ladies, too, if you want to use the hat, 15 minutes daily, super comfortable. I showed it to you yesterday. Check it out at redrecover.com just in case it might help also for hair loss. Use our discount code Big O and get 10% off. redrecover.com. Yes, sir. State-of-the-art red and infrared devices designed with both athletes and, of course, those of us that are getting up there in age in mind. It enhances also the muscle recovery, too, from all your workouts. redrecover.com. All right. Mark says, I just hit the subscribe button on the Big O Show Cuts and flick the bic, baby, after that. Puff, puff. There you go. Are you giving now? Because, we still have the virus out there, but it's not that bad now, So it used to be, at least. Let's see. What do we have here? You comparing Tua to superstars he has not earned yet, Dan Marino. Huh? Who didn't talk. That has, yeah, but you don't have to earn shit, PSJ. What the hell are you talking about, dude? Introverts are introverts. People that don't talk to people, that's just the way they are. It's not that they're social. It doesn't matter who you are. Some guys are like that. Tim Bowens didn't really talk to people. You didn't get to know Tim Bowens. You don't have to be a good player to earn that right. What are you talking about, dude? What are you smoking at 11:18 PSJ? What does talent have anything to do with any of that? You mean you don't have a friend that isn't very sociable? Kind of stays to himself? Because I think we all have that guy in our neighborhood. He's not nearly the sociable one. He's not the one outgoing. He's kind of to himself. What the hell are you talking about, dude? Right? Some of you come up with some really silly shit, dude. Comparing Tua to superstars. Not earned that yet. When is that an earned right? That's your personality. PSJ, do me a favor, bro. Pick the weed that doesn't have seeds already. Because apparently the one you have has all the weeds, the stems, and seeds and all. And you're probably smoking weeds and stems and everything, and that's why your mind thinks that way. Clean it up, bro. Go to Planet 13. Get some better stuff. Holy crap. My God. If Big O Show Cuts is as good as the Big O Show, I'm down. I just subscribed. Thank you, Jonathan. Appreciate you, man. Thank you. Seedless weed. Yeah, no, Brooklyn Rob, I'm telling you. That guy's got to be smoking seeds. Whoa, it's at $2.99. You guys responded quickly. There we go. Who's 300? Come on, $2.99. Big O Show Cuts. Come on. Who's 300? Let's go. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love how they're picking on Tua for being guarded when the press, public criticize him for everything he says. I would stay quiet if I were him. It's stupid, bro. It's stupid. Lots of people are to themselves that they don't let a lot of people in. It's just the way they are. They're guarded people. That's nothing new. We all have that family member. We all have that friend. And we've known many, many athletes that are that way. Big O, how do you think Jalen Phillips will play this season? I think he's going to play very well. I think he's going to be a hell of a player, dude. You know, I've got all the confidence in Jalen Phillips. All right, so we talked a little bit about the Pat Riley situation and his thoughts on the season. Let me elaborate a little bit here on the Tua captain stuff, because it's been mentioned many times about Tua not being a captain. And for those of you just tuning in, you're just in time. I danced a little bit with it with Cam, but it's something, again, we find ourselves watching people make something out of absolutely nothing, right? So last year, he chose not to be captain, right? Pass it on to somebody else, which that's his right. A lot of people have been critical of him. Oh, no, he should be captain. He should want this, right? So Jimmy G was the captain of the San Francisco 49ers. But they went and traded for another quarterback instead. So what does a captain mean if they're trading for the future? And they just told the entire team, yeah, he's your quarterback, he's your captain, but he's really not your future. So what does the captain label stand for there at that moment? You're not getting support from your head coach and your front office, right? Because they went and drafted Trey Lance. So Carson Wentz was captain also for the Indianapolis Colts. By the end of the year, they got rid of the captain. Irsay didn't want anything to do with that guy. Which, I don't blame them for trading. So now in comes Tua, and when guys were up for captain, he was like, hey, no, you guys, vote for other guys that you guys feel comfortable. I don't need to be captain. So think about this. So you're part of a coaching staff that doesn't support you. Your head coach didn't want you. You know he didn't want to draft you. You know that all he wants to do is trade for Deshaun Watson, right? You know all of this, okay? So he's not going to be appreciative. He's not going to be supportive. So if you're going to be captain in front of your team, your head coach needs to support you. Because if the head coach doesn't believe in you, how is the team going to believe in you? Right? So you ask, well, some of you think, well, he should have wanted to be captain. Well, why? Why would you want to be captain in that situation? Midway through the year, we were in that game against the Raiders, right? It was the Raiders, correct? I think it was. Was it the Raiders where Jacoby Jabroni got injured? Or the Ravens? Ravens, exactly. Ravens, not Raiders. Ravens. So he gets injured, and that's the week that he went to play golf with a fractured hand. But he thought he was good enough to play, but the coach did not want him to play. He told the media he's not healthy enough to play. But he was healthy enough to be the backup, but not to play. So why would you want to be captain for that? How could you be a captain when the guy's yanking you and starting you and yanking you and starting you? And, Flo was so quarterback stupid, obviously, that he finally figured out midway through that game, like, well, Tua with a fractured hand is better than this guy. He doesn't bother looking that he only has a winning record with Tua, not with Jabroni, not with Fitz, only with Tua. But, whatever. So he finally sticks with Tua. So I ask you, why would you want to be captain for that guy? Now, you bet your ass he's going to end up being captain because it's his team. Because the guy above him has put his faith in Tua, and Tua now can go and put his heart into all of this. Because now he has somebody that's actually supporting him. So now you can be a captain. And now it's left up to your play. That's how you're going to get your respect. Not the stupid C on your chest. That's not going to do jack shit for you in the locker room. In the end, if you don't ball, you don't get respect in that locker room. And Tua knows that. So it has nothing to do with the C. But the C, by putting that on you, now leads you and ties you to your head coach and puts you in a position that he knew he was going to be in. He said, I don't want to be a captain for this guy. And I don't blame him overall. And I find it incredibly silly, any of you out there, to be criticizing him for this stupid, senseless letter on your shirt that most teams, it's just a letter. What really earns your respect is your play, not the stupid letter on your chest. By the way, Barkov's got a C on his chest?
He does. We need him to have an S, but he only had a C.
So how'd that C work out? How'd that C work out with Barkov? Jimmy Butler, does he need a C? Does he really need a C? Do you really give a shit if he has a C? No, because he has the B, the balls. So in the end, that's all I need to see, bro. I just need to see Tua go out there and ball out. And the rest is bullshit. And if you guys want to hang on to your C's and all that crap, you go ahead and have fun. Yes, sir.
No, and I was going to say, plus where Tua came from in college, playing under Nick Saban, you know, again, when you look at the captain, it doesn't mean anything. He took Jalen Hurts out to win the game and put Tua in, you know, and so he's not there, but also, but with Nick Saban, what I'm trying to.
And by the way, I'm sure Jalen at that moment was the captain.
Maybe, but at the same time, with Nick Saban, you know where you stand,
right?
So you're not afraid to be the captain for him because he's letting you lead
exactly.
the team.
Yes,
he's not setting it up to where
right.
You know,
he's not backstabbing
fail.
you. Right.
Yeah.
He's not backstabbing you. Yes.
I think that played a lot into, you know, if you're thinking of Tua, think about where he came from. He played for Nick Saban and everything else. He's not a dumb guy. He sees what's going on.
Of course.
So let me accept the C on my chest. So what you can just.
It's like yesterday.
How do you become the leader of the team at that point if you can't even, you're getting at every point in
It's just a silly narrative, dude. Just like we did in the lockdown segment yesterday. The silly narrative. Oh, no, Tua needs this positive coach in Mike McDaniel. No, he doesn't, dude. He had Saban. And his dad apparently was worse than Saban. What are you talking about? Anybody that tells you, no, Tua needed Mike McDaniel. No, it doesn't. Tua needs a coach. Saban's a coach. He might be a tyrant, but he's a coach. He can handle it. That's why he doesn't handle Flo, because Flo was not a human being. He treated people like crap. That's the difference. Saban's ripping into you, but he's ripping into you for a reason. Okay? Because he's trying to coach you up one way or another. And Tua can handle that. Obviously, with Saban and with Flo, it's a different agenda. That's why it's different for the player. It's like, no, dude, I don't want to be your captain. Before, you're not my guy. You don't support me. And he was right. Don't forget to smash the like button here while you're watching or listening to the podcast. Just drove by Hard Rock Stadium. Racetrack is gone. We get our orange and blue parking back. By the way, what dumbass was that had some Lamar Jackson trade? But, I mean, it's just so stupid.
Jeremy Clump.
Who is
that? Who I saw. I don't know. I just thought it was funny. I was giving it to you for laughs.
Stupid, bro.
The fact that, I mean, I don't know. Never mind.
People will do anything for clicks and just
then also I go through his thing. You know, he's on the Omar train, so
right.
He's not a Tua guy.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just stupid. Like, but
yeah, but if you don't like Tua, then it becomes a.
But it's just stupid.
Yeah,
People come up with stupid crap.
Stupid, but it's funny that it's come to that now because the one is off the table. So now let's find the next one that we can throw in the oven.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Let's bring a guy that can't throw the ball. Brooklyn Rob. Oh, did you hear the preview of Tyreek Hill's podcast saying he went for 150 yards and 1 touchdown with Matt Moore and Tua in 10 Matt and Tua is 10 Matt Moores. Oh, did you hear the preview of Tyreek Hill's podcast saying he went for 150 and 1 touchdown with Matt Moore and Tua is 10 Matt Moores?
You say he's 10 times better than Matt Moore.
Yeah. Caddy, I don't pay attention at all. That was just Sean that showed me some stupid text from the guy. I don't even bother. I had a dream a couple of days ago. I dreamed Tua punched Flores in the mouth after the Dolphins win in Miami against the Steelers. That would be fun. What's it called? Let's see. I don't buy completely into Westhoff, but your friend with the Expo had Alan Poupart reinforce the struggles on offense. Cigar Social Club sent me a tweet this morning, which was funny because he mentioned about how our boy Omar was ranting and raving about Albert Wilson in shorts. And then what was I saying? It's Albert Wilson and it's in shorts. You don't brag about anything in shorts. Oh, no, I know what I see. And, well, what happened with Albert Wilson? Nothing, right? This is why a couple of weeks ago when Tua had a couple of really nice passes or whatever, I didn't brag about it. I don't care about it. Not worried about it. All I said is, for those of you that are haters, you're not allowed on the bandwagon. That's all. And whether it's good or bad, I don't care at this moment. It's May and June football. I am not going to be measuring May and June football, good or bad. And so if Mike Westhoff or if my boy Omar or if any of you want to go overboard and overanalyze May or June football, then knock yourselves out, dude. I've been at this a long time. I'll wait till they actually put on pads and they're actually hitting so I can actually get a feel for who is actually good, who knows what they're doing, and who doesn't know what they're doing. But if you think I'm going to be able to tell what's going on in May or June when nobody's wearing pads and there's no scheming. Oh, and by the way, everything on offense is new and nothing on defense or special teams is new because there's a shitload of continuity on 2/3 of the football team. All of that also has to be taken into account. So I'm not going to go overboard whether they look great or they look terrible or they looked average or whatever. It's practice. Okay? As Allen Iverson would say, we talking about practice. And now we talking to Manny Navarro next.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. Time for Canes fans to get what they want. Information, insight, and perspective. It's the Caneswear Miami Hurricanes Report with Manny Navarro, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. Here's Big O and insider Manny Navarro.
All right, excellent. Defender Virginity, by the way, says we can't overlook what they're saying about sloppy, but we have to take it with a grain of salt. No, but you could go overboard that Albert Wilson was tearing it up last year, and he was going to be like the second coming and a superstar. Go ahead, just ride whatever wave you want. Ride the wave of negativity or ride the wave of silliness, whichever one you want, bro. Go ahead and ride the wave. Enjoy. All right, Manny. It's like you a couple months ago when people are talking about the spring game.
Yep.
And like half the guys are not even in there. And it's like, really, dude, like we're going to be overreacting about the spring game. I mean, come on, man. It gets to a point right now. We're so desperate for content. And I think that's been one of the things that's kind of hurt the media. And this 24-hour cycle stuff forces media members to create content, and it just goes overboard at times, the content that's being created.
That's why I like working at The Athletic, because they don't force us to do that. We kind of are allowed to ride the wave of what we want to ride. And while The Athletic will put out a ton of articles, it's not always sensational, and we don't overdo it because we need to feed the beast and feel obligated to just create stuff to have eyeballs come to the website.
TV does it more than anything else. Actually.
Oh, absolutely.
TV is just polluted with all kinds of really just plain stupidity, actually, that goes on TV. And so, yeah, that's because they are in a 24-hour cycle. So they've got to come up with crap, and they just seem to end up coming up with a bunch of crap. Speaking of crap, is John Ruiz stuck in a bunch of crap there? What's going on, dude? Because I'm seeing some legal stuff, and
yeah.
What's the latest there? Because I tell you, University of Miami, even FIU, Florida, there's a couple universities that are benefiting from the NIL. So I'm just wondering what's going on with Mr. Ruiz there.
Well, when he put his MSP public, when they went public, and their stock fell really, really quickly, I think over 86% or whatever the number is now. Obviously, it's going to set off some alarm bells for investigators who wonder if there's some improper stuff sort of going on, because you have all these investors losing tons of money. So yeah, I think there's one firm who said that they're investigating MSP. But look, until we get to that point, where somebody says John Ruiz has done something wrong and illegal here, we're innocent in this country, right? Until proven guilty.
Yeah.
And
it's just wow.
It's a lot of smoke right now. I'm not a business reporter. If I was, I probably would really look into it. And in fact, I've had conversations with people at The Athletic about it, saying, hey, we have investigative reporters. If you guys want to look into this, and people who understand the business side of it and the legal side of it, they could certainly do it. But yeah, I mean, there's reports of that. Do I think Miami's in trouble now because their NIL guy is getting investigated? Not necessarily. He has a successful business besides the MSP stuff. I mean, he's been a lawyer for a long time. He has other avenues. He's basically dedicated $10 million. I know he's good for those $10 million with what he's paying the athletes this year. But there's a lot of other people who want to get involved in NIL that are Miami Hurricanes fans. And so I think, you're asking me if something goes wrong with Ruiz, will Miami's NIL situation all of a sudden implode? I don't think necessarily. I think there's other ways that some of these athletes could get paid. Could you lose some guys to the portal? Always. I think you could lose them regardless, with how other schools are paying NIL, especially if they're really good programs. But,
it's just, dude, I see him and Darren Rovell going back and forth.
Oh, it's intense. It's intense.
Oh,
Ruiz defends himself more than any billionaire I know. Right? I mean, really, to be on Twitter,
he is as brutally honest and out there as I've ever seen.
And he's trying to call reporters out who he thinks are reporting things inaccurately. Yeah. It's interesting. It's interesting, man. Like it's just, if you sit there and you watch his Twitter timeline, you'd think, man, this guy would be busy doing something else. But this is what he does. He likes fighting people, defending himself. And kudos to him. Let him do what he wants. He's a billionaire. He's had success. If it all goes away and he goes to jail for whatever reason, then that's.
Well, I'm not wishing that on the man. I'm just
but
like,
I mean,
I have to ask because now articles are popping up left and
Yeah.
right, and I'm watching this Darren Rovell stuff, and it's like, damn, dude, there's a bunch of stuff now. Nothing's been proven, that's been illegal or done wrong or anything
It's
like
just
that.
accusations.
So it's just, at this point now, the NIL stuff has nothing to do with what happened with his company with MSP.
No,
So
but he is the guy who has spent $10 million in NIL for the Hurricanes.
Exactly.
So naturally, you if you're a Miami fan, you're saying, man, this is the guy who's signed all of our athletes, who's made a lot of these kids happy to come here and to stay here. Could that all be in danger? And that's why I said I don't necessarily think so. I think there are other people who support this program financially. Look, NIL is to me, there's gonna be. We're just beginning with this, man. Like the fact that high school recruits are signing $2 million deals to go to certain schools like Tennessee, for instance. The fact that those kind of deals are going on right now, I don't think that's going to be the case 2 years from now. Because what's going to happen, and you and I know this, there's going to be so many busts, so many guys who don't live up to their contract just as players, as what these guys are hoping.
Yes.
So, and it's already happened because they've had these deals in Major League Baseball, right? Some of these top prospects come out, these guys are investing in them, and they basically want to be part of their big payday, so they'll front them $2-3 million to some of these elite prospects, and then say, well, when you get your big payday, when you sign that big contract, but not all of them pay off. And so it's the same thing here. It's the same sort of concept. And it's
so by the way, can we now start calling them bums if they don't live up to it? Because no, I'm scared. Remember?
Well, they're college kids, right?
This,
we're not allowed to offend the college kids, right?
Remember, it used to be, well, these are college kids. You can't pick on college kids. Well, wait a minute. They're grown young men now, and they're making money now, right? So, like, if the guard that UM signed for $400,000 a year, not UM, but obviously Ruiz signed. Well, dude, the guy's getting $400,000 a year. If he has a crappy year, am I supposed to treat him like a regular college player now, or am I supposed to say, "Yo, dude, you're getting paid $400,000 a year, and you choked"?
Well, now, before, when they were getting paid under the table, and we didn't know how much, or we couldn't say how much they're being paid, right? We couldn't say Bryce Young was making $1 million for Alabama. What a bum! Now he's fallen off from his highs, right? We couldn't say that before because we didn't have a dollar amount,
right?
Okay, we only had rumors. Now it's public. So now every time these kids come out and say I'm signing this deal, or somebody tweets out whatever it is that they're making, somebody close to them, yeah, I mean, it puts them under that microscope. You're going to see it between the commas.
I know this. It's going to change for me personally.
Yeah,
I know that. I've never really gotten ripping too much into college kids unless they're like doing stupid things like Willie Williams or something. You're just committing crimes, and then I'm going to rip your ass. But now that you're getting paid, if I know you're getting paid, oh, dude, Shane, they bought their tickets. They knew what they were getting into. I say, let them crash.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to use the line from Airplane on that one, bro.
Listen, man, you're right. I think 1,000%. Now, every time, how do you avoid it? How do you avoid it? Right? Like,
how do you
NIL is a big part of it.
How do you not write it?
You have to. You have to.
Yeah. So this is I don't know if they're really prepared for this. Some of these kids.
Brand new era, brother. Brand new era. I'm telling you, everybody's like, oh, this is the way it's going to be now. These kids are all going to be making. No, there is always a correction. There is always a moment when a come to Jesus moment when the people handing over the money say, wait a minute, what the hell am I doing? Look what happened to this guy. Right. And so there is going to be a correction. I think ultimately the majority of this money is going to be spent to keep kids from entering the draft. Okay. I think that's where it's really going to, and the transfer portal. When they get in there, when Miami says we need a wide receiver, right? And we want to get whoever is out there, we're going to spend the money then. That's when it, to me, it makes the most sense.
All right. You wrote an article about Cristobal and the boys getting ready to woo the 23 recruits.
Yeah.
Walk us through what they're doing to woo the recruits.
Well, look, first of all, you got to remember something. Everybody I know says, oh, Cristobal's going to come back to South Florida and he's going to tear it up. He's going to, he's been out at Oregon. He's got these connections in California now. He's going to help recruit players from all over the country. Now, one thing from our conversation last week that he made a clear point of was he was cherry picking from the state of Florida and cherry picking from Alabama and Georgia and all the places in the Southeast. He wasn't here on this coast for the last 4 years. He was on the West Coast. So all of his assistants, the high schools that they went into regularly, the ones where they had relationships, they're all out there. Now he's in these first 6 months, he's basically been trying to reestablish himself with the 7-on-7 coaches, with the high school coaches, with whoever is around these kids that helps them make their decisions. And so this month of June is very important. College football sort of shifted to this phase now where the elite schools that win championships every year or in the hunt every single year, they have all these visitors in June and they lock them in. They basically lock in, I want to say 30 to 40% of the elite kids, the top 200, 300 players every single year. And if you go back and you look at the numbers, which I did in my story, you see teams like Texas A&M. Of the 30 high school kids that they signed, 19 of them visited in June. They didn't wait all the way till December to make their decision. They went to Texas A&M in June and were like, this is where I want to be. So this is, again, we talk about the evolving world of NIL, the evolving world of recruiting is the same way. Now, Miami last year, they signed 14 high school kids. They only signed 4 of them that had visited in the summer. Obviously, they had the coaching change. You had Mario going after kids late. You had decommitments. Mario, I think, is still in that phase where a lot of these elite kids want to see how Miami does. Oh, they're not going to commit now over the summer and say, I'm going to Miami and stick to it, because if they go 8-4 and they don't make the ACC championship game, then it's the same thing as what Manny Diaz was doing, right? In their eyes. So they need to come. They need to visit now. He's getting a lot of these out-of-state kids to come here, and they're hosting them. And will they commit? I think the likelihood is maybe a handful will, but for the most part, they're going to wait till the end of the season to see how Cristobal and his staff do before they really fully buy in. And so that's basically what the article is about. It's just about how Mario's trying to re-entrench himself here in South Florida. And, the one thing he kind of made clear, because I asked him, I said, look, it's, 247 Sports does their rankings every year where they compile everybody's rankings, right? So the best kid in South Florida, whether that's Dade or Broward, hasn't signed with Miami since 2012.
Wow.
I mean, it's crazy. All these SEC schools have come in here. And just in the last 4 years, out of the 19 kids who were top 100 recruits in the country, I'm talking about the cream of the top, right? Only 3 of them signed with Miami, 3 out of the 19. So other teams are coming in here, the Alabamas, the Georgias, even Florida. Florida signed 5 of those 19 kids in the last 4 recruiting cycles. So I asked him, I said, how important is it to sign the best player in your backyard? And he says, it's always important to sign the number 1 guy on your board. And, last year he came in, he went after Shamar Stewart, wasn't able to get him. Shamar Stewart went to Texas A&M. Miami still signed a really good player in Wesley Besainth. Mario seems to think he's the best player in South Florida. So to him, he got the best player in South Florida. But the point is, to make the kind of impact that you, I, and all the other critics, right, who are watching him do his job, he's got to get the best player in the city every year, right? I mean, if you're going to be the best player in town has to always come to your school. And that hasn't happened in over a decade. So to me, yes, it's important. Brandon Innes, the kid who I had in my car, guess what? He's the number 1 kid in South Florida. Okay. And he's going to be at the end of the year. He's one of the best receivers in the country.
That's the one I was talking to his parents?
Yes.
Oh,
yes,
man,
exactly.
Money.
This is how it all comes together. I know what I'm doing.
I locked it in that day.
You locked it in for the Canes.
Yes.
So
you're welcome, Canes Nation, by the way.
There you go. Right. Well, he's right now USC, Ohio State, Alabama. Those are the teams that, nationally have the sex appeal. Could Mario win Brandon Innes over? I think so. But he's got to have a great season, and his receivers coach has to develop the kind of relationship that this kid has with other coaches. Can Miami get there?
Well, when Brandon signs, you just make sure you lean over to Mario and say, hey, you got him because of not because of you. Just,
Yeah.
Remind him.
You get the credit.
Remind him of my recruiting skills.
On 247 Sports, they list who's the top recruiter. It's going to say Orlando Alzagari right there. It's going to have your picture, and you will get the credit for it. You'll be one of the top recruiters in the country if you can pull it off.
That's right, bro. I mean, give me a break, man. What are we talking about? What's our boy in Ohio State? He's got nothing on me, bro.
Brian Hartline?
Brian Hartline ain't got jack on me, man. All right. I can recruit him. All right, so that's good. At least he's working on those guys now. And so the trick is to get them in early, impress them now. But the problem is because you haven't impressed on the field yet, that's still going to be a challenge for Miami.
I think so. And listen, all these recruiting websites are going to keep you on your toes, right? Because that's their job. They got to write about these kids visiting. And there is the whole, art of the chase. There is a sex appeal to that. But to me, I've said this to you many times. Check back with me in November and December, bro, and let's see where we're at. Because that's going to be the bottom line. It's not going to be anything that happens now in the summertime. If these elite kids want to go away, the local ones, if they want to go away, there's not much you can do to get them to stay than to make the college football playoff, win the ACC title. Those are the kind of things that are going to make them think about wanting to play here.
All right. Follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro. Catch his work there at The Athletic. Make sure you subscribe like I and many others do. What are you working on there at The Athletic so folks can subscribe and check out the latest article?
Well, I'm flying out to Vegas tomorrow. I'm going to be at this overtime 7-on-7 event, which is going to have all the best kids in the country from 2023 to 25, all the elite kids. A couple of South Florida teams are going out there. The South Florida Express is going to be out there. The Miami Immortals, the team that Ruiz financially funds. They've got all kinds of South Florida kids competing against the elite national kids from California and Texas and everywhere else. So there'll be a lot of tweeting and reporting from that event at the end of this week, and then I'll come back and I've got a bunch of things. I got a state of the program series that I'm doing on UCF, which, by the way, it's been a big 3 for a long time. It's really becoming more of a big 4. They're going to the Big 12. I'm going to get on the phone with Gus Malzahn and some of his coaches, and so I'm working on that. There's a lot going on, man. And in terms of Canes coverage, it never stops. There'll always be a Canes story on there for you to read, an in-depth read for you.
And kudos to the people in Orlando. They have done a phenomenal job of building up that program in Central Florida, man. You got to give them credit. And the city has embraced them too, and they've given them support too. That's also been really important. They've never won a national title, but hey, listen, whatever. It's all good. I can think I'm a great recruiter too, but it happens. It happens.
Well, according to them, they did win the national title. So, in their eyes, they've already been national champs.
Yeah, according to me, I got the top recruit anyway. So, it is what it is. Follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro. Catch him twice a week here doing our Canes Wear Miami Hurricanes report. He'll be back on Friday. Manny, thank you, my brother. Appreciate you as always. We'll catch up later on in the week.
Talk to you soon, bud. Take care.
You got it. There you go. Manny Navarro.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
All right, we're back. Thank you all, as always, for supporting the hell out of this program. Appreciate you. Don't forget, at AG1, I've been enjoying AG1 now for the last few days. It is a great way to kind of, take a turn for the better for your body, man. Listen, you want better gut health? I know Kyle Lowry needs that. You want more energy? You want to optimize your immune system? How about maybe you got to take a whole bunch of pills and vitamins and supplements and all kinds of stuff? Well, all you got to do now is take a little AG1. I've been doing it myself now, and it tastes super healthy. It's delicious. It has like a tropical taste. And let me tell you, every morning, that's the way I started off. I wake up in the morning, and that's what I have. I have my AG1, and what I love about it, 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food, sourced superfood, probiotics, and adaptogens. They've got it all there to start off your day. It's a terrific blend of ingredients for your gut health, nervous system, and your immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, and aging. It helps in so many different areas. This is why I encourage you to try AG1. Tons of people are trying it. It's a lifestyle friendly. So whether you're in a keto, vegan, dairy type, a gluten-free diet, it doesn't matter. It goes with all kinds of diets. It supports better sleep quality and recovery, supports mental clarity and alertness. And one of the things, the best thing, Athletic Greens uses the best of the best products based on the latest science with constant product iterations and third-party testing. And when we talk about testimonials, over 7,000 five-star reviews recommended by professional athletes, trusted by leading health experts such as Tim Ferriss and Michael Gervais. So all you got to do right now, folks, make it nice and easy for you so you can reclaim your health like I'm doing right now. Arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition, just one scoop, and all you got to do is add 12 ounces of nice cold water. That's it. And you don't need a whole bunch of pills and supplements and all that stuff. Make it easy now. Athletic Greens is going to give you free a 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs. The travel packs are really cool. I showed it to you yesterday. That way, if you're on the go, you can mix it, shake your bottle, and you're on your way with your first purchase. You'll get all that. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/Big O, athleticgreens.com/Big O, and take ownership of your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance, AG1. Yes, sir. Does taste great, bro. I just had it in my car this morning. All right, I got dressed. I put the water, I put the scoop in, shook it up, boom, and I drank it in my car. It was nice and easy. What were you going to say? Because you grabbed the mic.
No, I was saying the coach is talking.
What coach?
McDaniel. I'm going through Omar's timeline. Tim Reynolds started it out a couple minutes ago, and he said, breaking news from Dolphins camp.
Okay, and?
You're going to love this one.
What?
Mike McDaniel doesn't eat fish, but eats sushi. That came across as news.
Oh, that's news. Okay.
And then he said, basically, he said, this is from Omar. We've been fully committed. We've learned a lot, gotten better, and attacked this offseason. I'm comfortable to say the way we worked, we have a lead in the first quarter. Obviously, going toward the comments of what everybody's hearing. And he said the biggest message is the obligation, accountability they have to their teammates when they are gone, meaning, the end of camp.
Time off, yes.
Yep. And he said, I'm trying to find where it was. He says he doesn't pattern his coaching after anybody else. And that comes from being a kid when he was raised by a single mom and not having a pattern to follow. And where is the thing? He says the number one rule we have on the team is protect the team.
Okay. All right. So far, nothing. Okay.
All coach talk.
Coach talk, yeah. That's it.
We could go with people should have to. If they have honest intent, you can count on them. Who am I to say how you should act one way or another? Again, he's probably being asked a lot about, end of training camp. What does he expect from the players? And he's saying, hey, I can expect. And it's about them and their accountability to their team.
I got you. All right. Welton Rayom text line 855-912-1056. That's 855-912-1056. If you want to get in on the Welt and Rayom text line, let's see, what else do we have here on the program? We'll get to the Welt and Rayom text line in a couple minutes. Let me check here the text line. What you got? Let me see. I'm just trying to find something. What else do we have? I don't buy completely into Westhoff, but listen, this whole Westhoff stuff, because apparently Mike Westhoff, Joe did an interview with Mike Westhoff, and Mike Westhoff wasn't happy with the offense. I went back and listened to the interview. And he goes, well, I'm not that far removed. I was a couple of years with the Saints, a couple of years ago with the Saints. Yeah, dude, you were with a team that had the same coach for years and the same quarterback for years and the same offense for years. Of course, even when they make changes, they're still going to have continuity because they've been at it for years. This is all brand new. And listen, you could tell me, like Omar told me, that it didn't look good to him. But then last year he's telling me Albert Wilson is tearing it up. And what did it mean? I'm not reading into May and June football. I don't care if it's Mike Westhoff. I don't care if it's Cameron Wolfe. I don't care if it's Omar Kelly. I don't care if it's Mike McDaniel. I'm not reading into May and June football with no pads. Sorry. I have no idea what they're experimenting with from day to day. I don't know what they're calling. Not doing that. So if all of you want to do that and overreact on May and June football. So last year, Albert Wilson was supposed to be, the number one receiver in the NFL. Then what happened? So now they look terrible, so I guess they're going to be great now. I'll wait till they put on pads. Let's see. What else do we have here? Oh, if you read the subtext of what Westhoff wrote, there are several old guys get off my lawn comments. The music, positivity are all the new ways of being that he has probably never been around. Yeah. Bitcoin taking a beating. It's at 30,000, bro. What are you talking about? Hasn't moved. It's been there. Like I told you, it went up to like 31, 31.5, and it went right back down. It's been at 28, 29, 30, 31. Hasn't moved. I'm not sure what kind of a beating. It's actually stayed strong, is what it's done. Sometimes, let me see. Hopefully Miami fans are going through baby steps. Panthers got to go to the second round. Heat go to the Eastern Conference. Then Dolphins go to the Super Bowl. Would be nice. What else do we have here? Omar hinted that he is leaving national media and CNN is hiring. This is CNN with Omar Kelly. Albert Wilson was garbage, but he would catch the ball, then run backwards 5 yards. Yep, that's productive. Did you respond to the Zion question? What would you do if you are the Pelicans front office? I would probably quit. Right? I mean, you drafted Zion. You're an idiot. So, I don't know. What do you want me to answer? Zion is a bust, a waste. A kid that obviously has no professionalism whatsoever because he's just going to eat his way out of the league. I don't know. I don't know what you want me to tell you. Well, Lee, of course you trade him. If you can if you can find somebody stupid to take Zion Williamson, then you do it. For sure. But you got to find somebody stupid enough to take that contract. There'll be a small market that'll take the chance, that has no shot at getting free agents, Detroit, whatever, and somebody may trade for him. Will Channing Tindall start this year? He better. I don't know if he'll start in week 1, but at some point this season, yeah, he better start. Yeah. All right, give me 2 minutes. Let's Let's get into hour number 3. Rest of voice here. Back with more from Hialeah Park right here on the Big O Radio Show.
For over 25 years, South Floridians have counted on Tommy B. Butts Jr. Enterprises for their roofing needs. In South Florida, we battle the sweltering heat, rain, winds, and all kinds of tropical storms. That's why when it comes to protecting your family, home, or business, call Tommy B. Butts Jr. Enterprises.com. 954-735-9826 or 954-394-1411 and ask to speak to Tommy, the owner. They specialize in all kinds of roofs. All work fully guaranteed with the customer's complete satisfaction. A+ rated member of the Better Business Bureau. Licensed and insured. There's no buts about it. When your roof needs repair or replacement, go to TommyBButtsJrEnterprises.com. A certified widening contractor. With more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes, Welton Rayom is committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle, slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. That's 954-966-4646. Welton Rayom can help.
Welcome to Red Light Therapy, a revolutionary technology perfected by NASA to aid in muscle strengthening and recovery. Red and infrared light has the capacity to penetrate deep into the cell's mitochondria, potentially leading to increased energy, faster recovery, and the optimal performance your body demands. Train, fight, recover.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
Oh, great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them. With Slowens, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation. Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house! Get out of the house!
Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
Sports Grill on Bird Road, Miami Lakes, and their newest location in Doral is now hiring. If you're looking to join a great company and South Florida institution, give them a ring or drop an email. Sports Grill is hiring all kinds of positions from hostess to servers, bartenders, or join the kitchen staff to craft some great food for their amazing customers. Please send your resume to m.cruz@sportsgrillmiami.com or call 305-219-5726. That's 305-219-5726. Sports Grill. Good food, good drink, good friends. The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
The Big O Radio Show is brought to you by Sports Grill. Good food, good drinks, good friends. Craig Zinn Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealership in the Southeast United States. The Fort Lauderdale Police Department. The FLPD is hiring. Go to FLPDjobs.com.
When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Back here at Hialeah Park, hour number 3 of the program. We're in the second floor poker room Come on out, say hi. Normally it's Thursdays, by the way. Every Thursday we're here. This week we're only doing it on Tuesday because we're going to be out in Daytona this weekend. We'll be broadcasting out at Flagler Beach on Thursday, Friday, and Monday. We'll be out there, and then we'll be back here on Thursday, rocking and rolling. So appreciate all of you out there as always. Hey, by the way, a rule of the show, don't tell me how to run the show. Just want you to know, just in case, for those of you on the chat board and all that good stuff, and you may think you may want to know how to run a show or whatever, you don't. So just stay listening and don't worry about it, okay? When you got your own show, then you can run it however the hell you want. But meanwhile, 32 years in, I don't need your help on how to run the show, okay? So just join me for the ride. Let's have some fun. We'll talk some sports. We'll talk life. Don't tell me how to run a show. Don't need any of your help for that. Okay? Need your support. Okay? Need you to listen. Need you to hit the like button. Need you to subscribe. Don't need you to tell me how to run the show. So there you go. I'm just, it's like it's kind of a rule of the show, So it's one of those rules. You'll get your warning, and then that's it. And after that, you'll be sent on your way. Anyway, 855-912-1056 on the Welt and Rayom text line. That's 855-912-1056. If you want to get in on the Welt and Rayom text line, you can also reach out to us on Twitter at Big O Show, email bigoradioshow@yahoo.com, as always, and Cash App and Venmo if you want to make a donation. Remember, on the Cash App one, I'm dying to test it to see if somebody wants to make a Bitcoin donation or I don't know, maybe you can make an Ethereum donation, or I don't even know if they have Cardano on Cash App, but it's Cash Big O Show if you want to do that. And I'm with Ad Marks there. I also love White Castle. Gets you in trouble, but I do love White Castle. Thank you all. Toby goes, not telling you how to run it. I'm here to support. It's all love. No, you are telling me how to run it. I interrupt whoever the hell I want to interrupt, whenever I want to interrupt. Understand that, Toby. So you are telling me. You don't like it? That's your problem, not mine. It's pretty simple. So I don't, if there's a point being made I don't like or I want to add to it, I will interrupt. Because then I sometimes don't wait till the whole answer, because then they go into something else after that in that answer. Then you can't. So, not that I needed to give any explanation or anything, but, we do what we want, not what you want. Okay? So, it's pretty simple. That's all. By the way, Deshaun Watson has filed his not Deshaun Watson, but a woman has filed her 24th lawsuit again, a woman with the 24th lawsuit against Watson has been filed. Okay? Now, his beautiful girlfriend, Jillian Ias. Maybe you want to go over to her Instagram and pull it up. And the latest picture and her answer to the 24th woman accusing Deshaun Watson of some kind of sexual impropriety. Don't know what it is, but another disgusting act. If you read it, I don't even want to get into it already. It is so gross and just, whatever. So how does she respond to the 24th woman? She posted a picture of enchiladas for dinner. That's it. That's all Jilly has on her mind. Enchiladas. By the way, I will give her credit if she's cooking, which looks like she's cooking. Look good. The enchiladas look good, I got to say. How does that woman feel about all of this? Like, is she just along for the free ride? Like, I'm trying to think of, how does a respectable woman stay with the dude? right? And by the way, as smoking hot as she is, wow. But then again, the saying is, show me a beautiful woman and I'll show you a married man who's tired of, right? Because apparently Tyler Herro went astray from his lovely IG model, and she's an absolute total smoke show. So this guy has a absolute total smoke show in Jillianias, and yet it's the weirdest thing, dude. It is just, it is a twisted, weird, sick story. It's a terrible look for the NFL. Man, you guys would not have, some of you at least, would not have enjoyed this show if we would have had Watson here. Because I would have been tearing the Dolphins down. I would have been very disappointed. You know that I would have been more disappointed in the Dolphins doing that than anything else that they've done ever. That you're so desperate to win. Yeah, he's cheating on that constantly. It makes no sense. But you're so desperate to win that you would sign that and deal with all of the mess. And it's almost like you're at the point where, well, once he starts balling out, people will forget about all the charges and they'll forget about the alleged acts and all the stuff that he's done. You're not even really showing there. Well, there's the enchilada. And there's the sizzle for the enchilada. There you go. That's how she answers to the 24th woman being suing her man with enchiladas. It's pretty good, I got to say. I mean, she's a smoke show and she cooks. That's impressive. It's impressive. Pat in Nashville says, Big O, stop asking hard questions. Not nice or fair. Just a loving tip from someone with no radio experience whatsoever. Ain't saying she's a gold digger, but she ain't hanging around with no broke man. Yeah, I know. I got you. Yeah, no, she's not fine. She's super fine. I'm telling you, it just makes no sense. It makes zero sense, right? It's like you're married to J-Lo and then you're going to stray and you're like, dude, isn't that enough at home? Jillianias, isn't that enough at home? What's Katya Elise Henry, isn't that enough at home? Like, those are smoke shows, man. Weird. Let's see. Big O, how close were we actually? I don't know, bro. I don't think they were close, but it doesn't really matter. They never did it, so none of it matters. She can cook for me, says Duke. Hell yeah. She can cook for you everywhere. Kitchen and in the bedroom. What happened?
No, there was his lawyer came out and
Rusty Hardin?
Yeah, and said how close the Dolphins were.
Oh, yeah, but he
said
said something about, in that story that they needed...
they needed 22 and they got 20.
Right.
2 would not sign off on.
Right. But then again, it's a lawyer.
It's a lawyer.
And I don't know what to believe in a lawyer. That's the problem. Because I doubt he was talking to the football people. Yeah. Okay? So that's the thing. So... only people who don't understand football would rather have Watson. Tua is, as Tyreek would say, 10 times better. Big O, you all doing a meet and greet for Summer League like Tommy Rockers? Yes, we will be at Tommy Rockers By the way, I spoke to Tommy yesterday. Yes, we will be at Tommy Rocker's. Man, I don't know what happened to my voice. 7th through the 14th of July. Okay? We will be in Vegas for a week. I don't know what the hell is going on with my voice. I don't know, man. Doesn't feel sore or anything.
I was watching the water. Nobody came close to it, so nobody put anything in it.
No. It's just one of those things that I don't know why it got kind of rough. Get a little honey in there now, smoothing things out. So yes, Miles, we will be in Vegas. We will be at Tommy Rocker's, doing our show there in the morning. Maybe we'll do it an hour later during that week.
What time are the Summer League games starting?
I don't know. We'll have credentials.
Yeah.
So we'll be able to go to.
Depend on when.
Yeah.
Games come. We
Probably
need to be at the Heat games at least.
Well, yeah, definitely. I would definitely want to be at the Heat games for sure. But I don't know the times.
You got to start early because, right? Don't they have like all the teams there for that Summer League?
Yeah. The thing is that
Games
some of this stuff,
some
of that stuff, I end up watching on tape delay, so I don't know really which one is live or not.
Yeah.
So I don't know the time. And since we're 3 hours behind, I doubt they're at 10 in the morning doing games. Probably.
If you got 30 teams and you're trying to get
no, it's not. No, it's not.
They divide it up by right.
It's not 30.
It's not everybody.
No. It's like 4, 6, or 8 teams or something like that. It's not a lot.
It?
Yeah.
They do the tournament at the end. So how do they get to the tournament?
I think it's like, it's probably maybe like 8 teams at the end. It's probably what it is. Yeah, why don't you look up? Yeah, look it up. Look it up. Vegas Summer League. What are the rules? Because they have one in Utah, they have one in Vegas, they have one in LA. So different teams participate. Like, I think the Heat participate in like 2 or 3 of those. Not in all of them, if I'm correct. Big O people stand for boss informing generations opportunist. He runs this. That's right. Damn right. It's all 32 in Vegas. Wow. I didn't think it was all of them. I thought it was only a few. We used to have Summer League here. You know that, right, in Miami? But it was only like 4 or 6 teams or something like that. The whole league, huh? Wow. I'm also going to see Morrissey while I'm there in Vegas. Going to see the Black Keys. The only thing I'm a little pissed off about is the same night of the Black Keys is also damn it. I like these guys a lot, you know. Young the Giant. Okay? Like Young the Giant, they're cool. And unfortunately, it's the same night as the Black Keys. So I had to make a decision. I got to go with the brothers. I got to go with the Black Keys. Yes.
The earliest day, because you can buy tickets for the day. They're $150 a piece, by the way.
Aren't you glad you got a credential?
The earliest start time is noon, so I'm guessing that'll be the time frame around where they'll kick off the games.
Yeah, and they have no Radio Row.
Okay.
I checked with the NBA, and we were going to try to be in Radio Row, but the NBA Summer League doesn't have that, which is. But then again, only hardcore people would come out to cover that. And that's what we do, obviously, because we're going to try to be hardcore. We're trying, folks. We're trying.
You get a couple stars that show up every once in a while, but other than that, it's really just
the
guys that trying to get to the league.
Yeah,
minus the Heat, I guess, because the Heat's really like just putting in plays for the next season almost.
Amen. Big O, I would give her the best 3 minutes of her life, says Ian from Brooklyn. Aaron Berg says, it's like Mutt Lange cheating on Shania Twain with her best friend. We're like, come on, dude. Exactly. Mutt Lang is married to Shania Twain? I had no idea. Is that true? Or did you just pick two random people, Adam Berg? Like, I learned something today. I had no idea the amazing Mutt Lang was married to Shania Twain. She's a cutie, Shania Twain. Not my type of woman because, she's a cutie and everything. Got a nice little body. Kind of skinny, you know what I mean? I need some curvatures. I need some thickness. You know what I'm saying? But she is a total hottie, man. What? Yeah, Robert Mutt Lang, yeah. Yeah, they're since 2010. Oh, they broke up in 2010?
Looks like it says married 1993 to 2010.
Oh, so you're saying that Mutt Lang literally cheated on her and that's what broke up their marriage. Wow, I first of all, I didn't know they were married. I know he cheated on her and that led to a divorce, which I think is what you're saying. Wow. Okay, that's nuts. Okay, I'm with you there. I'm with you there. Big O, not saying it's going to happen. What if Joel Embiid wants to play with Jimmy and requested a trade? You do whatever it takes to make that move. Not going to happen, but, whatever. Mike No-Go Zone says the Black Keys are better than Young the Giant. Well, that's why I'm going. But I do like Young the Giant. I enjoy their music, dude. I'm a Young the Giant fan. I really am. Mike, I like. It's not just cough syrup. They've got a bunch of really good songs, and they're actually a really good band. They're talented, but the Black Keys are. There aren't a lot of great young rock bands. The Black Keys are one of them. I love the Black Keys. I've seen them a couple times. And I've seen Young. If I had never seen Young the Giant, then I might pick Young the Giant because I've seen the Black Keys several times and I've seen Young the Giant several times. Or vice versa. If I had seen Young the Giant a bunch of times, never seen Black Keys, then I would go. But because I've seen both of them many times, I got to go Black Keys. Too good, bro. Too good. If you've never seen the Black Keys in concert, I feel for you. I really do. Let's see. What else do we have? Katya Elise Henry is thick. Is all I'll ever need and want. She's a very good-looking woman, man. Tyler Herro is very lucky. That's all I can say. Big O, it didn't seem suspicious that Shania Twain sounded like Def Leppard with a fiddle. Mutt fooled around Shania's friend. They divorced. Then Shania married her friend's husband. An even trade all around. Wow. I had no idea about all of this. Okay. She's a cutie, man. That is crazy. Did you guys see what's going on now? Okay, so Watson, I told you, got the 24th lawsuit now, right? So now there is talk that the Browns are thinking of keeping Baker Mayfield for the entire season. Think about how this circus is going to end up, I don't know, not working out is the way we're going to call it. Because Baker is, I think he'll be smart enough to take advantage of the opportunity because it's a really good team and he has a chance to actually, pump up his stats and get some value and maybe get the hell out of there and go somewhere else. But along the way, if he is winning, okay, that is going to be an annoying press conference for the Browns. The ownership, the front office. It's going to be, why? Because he's going to let him have it during those times. Yeah, no, we did good today. I know I'm not going to be here next year, and I know these guys don't want me around, but hey, it was good to go to battle with these guys and win. And teams around the league can now see this. That's how it's going to be. And it's going to be one of those things, and they can't do anything about it because what are they going to do? Go to their third string and then lose? I mean, they may lose with Baker Mayfield as it is, but he's going to be better than anything you have as a third option. What were you going to say?
And not only that, but I mean, they went above and beyond to make sure they got Deshaun Watson. Because remember, supposedly they were out of the race, and they said, "Well, let us up the ante here and
all the
say,
guarantees.
Here's all money guaranteed." So how bad did they not want Baker Mayfield to be the starting quarterback?
Exactly. Right. I mean, and now they may need to rely on Baker Mayfield in order because winning is ultimate. And you have a great fan base. And this fan base doesn't deserve all this crap that's gone on. But the fact that you now have to think about keeping Baker Mayfield around, what a clown show. What a clown show. And by the way, if he is suspended for the year, that's another year of you not playing football. That's another year where you're not playing at a high level and preparing for game speed. Everything you've done now in practice means nothing compared to game speed. And all of you out there can say, "Oh, he's young," and this. It's not a good thing for anybody to be out of whatever profession for 2 years. That's got to take you out of some kind of groove. It was hilarious to think that some of you out there thought that Colin Kaepernick should be signed after being out of football for 5 years. Just because he can run around in practice and throw the ball a couple of times, he's ready for football. Are you out of your mind? Stupid. And for Deshaun Watson, who's a much better quarterback, it makes it that much harder for you to get back on the horse if you're literally going to miss 2 entire seasons of football. But it just shows you when you are a dysfunctional organization, it continues in the same path on a consistent basis. By the way, George Richards will join us here any second now. He'll join us, and we'll have a little fun with George. Make sure. Let's see. Okay. Yesterday's game was crazy. Oh, by the way, it not only gets that, you know how much more dysfunctional it gets? The Browns are also talking about bringing Odell Beckham back. So think about this, which doesn't make, I saw this story and none of it makes sense, right? That you're going to bring Odell Beckham back. So wait a minute. If you're forced to keep Baker and you're thinking of bringing back Odell Beckham, how does that work? So last season, OBJ got his wish, got out, got away from Baker Mayfield, right? So according to Armando Salguero, the Browns have engaged in internal discussions on bringing him back.
And then that is probably based on Deshaun Watson being the quarterback, not Baker Mayfield being the quarterback. I can't see Odell saying, "Yes, let me sign this deal and come back and play with Baker Mayfield."
But he's going to be suspended no matter what.
I understand that.
So
but
if you bring him back,
if you know you're going to be able to play with them at some point, you might have a better option of signings because down the line you'll end up playing.
I know, but at the beginning he's going to have to play with Baker.
No. He'll have turf toe.
And
there's turf toe coming.
And Dad's going to put up videos and
there's an injury coming.
I mean,
if Deshaun Watson gets suspended for the first 6 games, there's a turf toe.
What a mess. You give this guy the contract. He has 24 lawsuits. You're thinking of bringing back and keeping the quarterback that was initially your starter. And then now you're also having internal discussions about bringing back the receiver that didn't work well for you for 3 years. Like, what a mess. What a freaking mess. I mean, how can the Browns be that much of a mess? Hell yeah. It's too funny. All right, let's get into a little hockey and a little sports with George Richards and our ALennyLocksmith.com Florida Panthers report.
Time for the Lockdown segment with Florida Panthers insider George Richards. This lockdown is brought to you by A. Lenny Locksmith Services. Count on them 24 hours a day. Go to the website at ALennyLocksmith.com. Here's FloridaHockeyNow.com insider George Richards.
There he is, the man, the myth, the legend. That is George Richards. Mr. Richards, how are you doing, sir?
Heard you messing with the Browns.
I know. What the hell is, dude? They're thinking of bringing back. They're thinking of. Oh, the Browns. I see. See, you're so yeah. I see you. Where'd you now? Are you a Browns fan or is this just a collection thing?
Nope, I'm a Browns fan.
Wow. So you're thinking of internal discussions about bringing Odell back.
Yeah.
They may be forced to keep Baker Mayfield for the whole season.
Right.
Watson's now got 24 lawsuits. I mean,
yeah, I haven't wore the Browns stuff much since the Deshaun Watson deal, but
you were unhappy with that one, huh? Because I would have been.
I mean, obviously he's a talent. I mean, there's no doubt about how good he is. I mean, but my God, I mean, unless the Browns know something we don't. And if the Dolphins did not know, I mean, because, you know, you see the reports about the Dolphins wanted everything taken care of, obviously. And at the time, I guess it was 22. Now it's 24. It's not a good look. It's not a good look for the organization. I mean, the guy, but, you know, when you're the Cleveland Browns and you've had 38 starting quarterbacks since you came back into the league, you know, you're desperate, right? You're desperate.
Yeah. And desperate teams do what the Browns things, and that's what they did, and that's why
the fully guaranteed contract, the 1 year, you know, this year he's going to get paid $1 million. Everything else is signing bonus. So when he gets suspended for 14 games or whatever, he's getting paid. So
right,
but it's not my money.
No,
so
but
Baker
the NFL
Mayfield may be your starting quarterback with Odell Beckham being mad the whole time.
And you're right, and Dad putting out videos.
Yeah, there'll be more of those. Yeah,
right,
sure.
Exactly.
Because why not? I mean, you know, maybe he goes back to the Rams on a discount deal. Let the Browns pay the freight.
It's just a bad look for the league and for the Browns.
Yeah,
you know,
but again, maybe they know something we don't. I don't know. So, they're not talking. That's the other thing. They're really not talking about it.
Apparently, they don't know. Apparently, they don't know as much as they thought because we weren't talking about 23 and 24. And even the Dolphins, they wanted 22 resolved.
Yeah, but when you're at 22, what's the difference? I mean, at this point, what's the difference?
Well, no, but if you're the Dolphins and you would have gotten the 22 resolved, two more would have popped up now.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. It's just the league should have put the guy on the commissioner's list until it was done, and then say, all right, nobody can trade for the guy.
He didn't play last year anyway.
Right, exactly. We're going to wait until everything is resolved before he's allowed to play. That's it.
Free money, though, for old Deshaun. Good for him.
Yeah. Oh, shit. He got $10 million last year just for hanging out.
Just for chilling. He had to live in Houston, but aside from that.
Well, he was in the Bahamas a lot.
Well, yeah. Well, have you ever been to Houston?
Yes, I have. The East-West Shrine was there for a few years, and I actually stayed an entire summer when I was a kid back in the late 70s, I think it was. Yes, late 70s.
They have our weather in the summer, but no charm.
Right.
The food's good. Orlando, how are you?
Traffic like crazy. I'm doing great. I can't complain. Unless I was an Oilers fan. Dude.
Love
wow.
you, Blue. Love you,
bro,
Blue.
Colorado, bro. Unleash the Kraken. Holy shit, these guys are good.
Yep.
Dominant, bro.
Colorado, yeah. Well, listen, I mean, we knew going into these playoffs that the Western Conference was the easiest route. I mean, that's why the Avs were such heavy favorites to win the Cup, because they had the easiest way through. I mean, they got to open with the Nashville Predators. You know, they had it, they got through Edmonton, like a warm knife through soft butter. The West was a joke, but listen, Colorado's legit, man. They are a legitimate. They are legitimately good, and we said that all year. I mean, even when Colorado got off to a slow start, they were still 1 or 2 in all the power rankings, and that was for a reason. They've got a complete team. I don't know how good the goaltending is, but we'll see what happens with them. But they're extremely solid on both ends of the ice.
Yeah, and the Lightning saved their asses the other day with the coming back down 2-0 to get them 3 goals and win, and that might be the spark that kind of wakes them up in a way. While the Rangers deserve to go to the Stanley Cup, and there will be there'll be a good fight for Colorado. Dude, I really want to see Tampa, Colorado, because Tampa's going for 3 in a row.
Right.
And if they can get the third one against this Avalanche team, that would make this, this dynasty-like run would be that much more impressive for Tampa if they can, put the icing on the cake with a win over the Avs. And plus, Tampa and the Avalanche, dude, that's a heavyweight fight if I've ever seen one. You know what
absolutely, yeah. And you talk about the dynasties in the NHL over the years, the Islanders, the Oilers, all these teams, the Red Wings teams, the Colorado teams. This would be a salary cap dynasty for the Tampa Bay Lightning. They've had challenges that other teams haven't had. Now, we can talk all you want about last year, and they were $17 million over the cap in the playoffs, but those are the rules. They definitely got helped last year by the short season, by that 56 game schedule, knowing that the top 4 teams from each division went in. They knew they were one of the top 4 teams. They could have sat half their team and made the playoffs last year, and they knew it, and that's why they did what they did. But, Hey, listen, they're a mile and a half away from it, though. They're still down 2-1 in this series. They got game 4 tonight against the Rangers. The Rangers most definitely can steal one tonight and take a 3-1 lead going back to the Garden. So Tampa Bay is a long, long way away from a three-peat or even facing Colorado. But, yes, you're right. It would be a heck of a series.
All right, bring it locally. What are we hearing about Brunette? What's your gut telling you?
Well, I haven't heard a whole lot. I think they're still, looking at some things. You have to think whatever the decision is going to be made has been made. I said that weeks ago. People were asking me after the Panthers beat the Capitals, is he going to be the coach? I don't know. Will it depend on the Tampa series? I don't think so. I don't think it had anything to do with anything. Unless they won the cup, if he wins the cup, I think he's the coach for sure.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Hold on a second.
I don't know what they're thinking.
If he gets to the finals and loses to the Avalanche, I think he's back too.
Yeah, well, you're probably right. Okay, well, I'll give you that. If you go to the Stanley Cup Finals, you're the Eastern Conference champs. Yeah, I think that probably gets him the job. But, and I'm not saying he doesn't. They very. I mean, the Florida Panthers are big fans of his. The players, the coaches, the front office staff. Again, I think he got, you saw what happened in the first round. I think the Washington Capitals had a great plan against the Panthers, but Florida reacted to it and came, moved past that. They didn't against Tampa Bay. As good as Vasilevsky was, Tampa Bay sold out and played their style the entirety of those 4 games. Florida didn't have any answer for it. So those are questions the Panthers have to answer. But again, I think the decision of whatever's going to happen was already made, or, they're working on. I think there's something going on in the background. I don't, you know what I mean? It's got that feeling.
George, let me just say
off a long time ago. You could have done it the day after the season. Hey, he's our guy. They haven't done that.
Yes, I'm with you,
and
bro.
then like I said, 2 months ago, I'm hearing, the Panthers aren't even sure Brunette wants the job full time. He said that he did. When we asked him a second time, Tim Reynolds from Associated Press asked, because I asked him after game 4 in Tampa, and it was a little A couple days later, Tim asked him at the exit, and he said, "Yes, I want to be the head coach of the Panthers." So,
dude, they said all the right things. The Panthers said all the right
Did
things.
he say it the right way?
He said all the right
but,
things,
yeah.
but you nailed it. And you feel the same way what I feel. Well, my gut is telling me they're not keeping him, dude. Because if he was your guy and you were convinced, you would have already at the end of the season say, hey, we're ending all of this speculation. We're not going to let it float around. You know, Andrew's our guy. We're sticking with Brunette and we're moving on. We're going to make some other, we're going to, decide everything else. But the fact that they have not come out, because this is pretty cut and dry, this decision. Either you're keeping him or you're not. I just get a feeling that they're going to try to find that veteran coach now.
Or right, because they could be talking to Barry Trotz. Does Barry Trotz want to come here? He's an upgrade over. I mean, Andrew Burnett would agree with you. Barry Trotz is a Cup champion. He's been doing it for 25, 30 years. If Joel Quenneville is available, he's still under contract to the Panthers. I mean, there's no way he walked away from that contract. He had 4 years left. He has 3 years remaining on that contract at $6 million per year. He didn't walk away from it. He may have resigned. Maybe there was some kind of financial thing, but I have to think that Joel Quenneville is still involved with the Florida Panthers in some way.
Can they bring him back?
If he's approved by the league, yeah. All he has to do is sit down with Gary Bettman, and none of us were in that room with Gary Bettman when Bill Zito and Matthew Caldwell went to New York to meet with Gary Bettman and the deputy commissioner. We don't know what was said in that meeting. Perhaps it was take some time off, Joel, go do some sensitivity training, let this thing blow over a little bit. Maybe you can come back. Total speculation. I don't know if that was the case. That may not be the case. The NHL may be saying, the Chicago Blackhawks thing is still sitting around. And he didn't do anything when it comes to what happened. It was what happened afterwards. Joel Quenneville denied knowing anything about this, and that's obviously was not the case. He got caught in it. So, the cover up is always worse than the action. So, we'll have to wait and see, but you've got to think with all this stuff that's going on, Bruce Cassidy just got fired by the Boston Bruins yesterday. Why did the Bruins wait? On exit day, the Boston Bruins president was basically hinted that they were going to fire Bruce Cassidy, and they wait 2 weeks to do it, or 3 weeks, however long it was. Boston lost in the first round. So it's been it's been a while, and they just now did it yesterday. He's not coming here, I don't think. I mean, I don't think that he fits here, but it's interesting to see.
Who are the fits in your eyes?
I would think, it would be Barry Trotz for sure. Very popular player among players, but he's tough. But he's fair. I think everybody knows where you stand with a Barry Trotz. I think Joel Quenneville is still in that mix. When you're looking at the veteran coaches, I don't think that John Tortorella might be a guy that Florida talks to, but I don't think he's a fit here.
Isn't that the dude that always while he's good, but he burns himself out everywhere he goes?
But you're looking at. Yeah, for sure. No. When you're talking about John Tortorella, yes, that is a very short shelf life. Same with Mike Keenan was like that. Mike Keenan was a terrific coach, but after a couple of years, you got to move on from Keenan. Then he goes somewhere else and jump starts. But you're looking at a Florida Panther team that's playing for right this second. 3-4 years from now, this Panther team, what's going to, you got to play for today. If you think that John Tortorella can get you to the promised land, he won the Cup with Tampa Bay. He took the Rangers to the finals a couple years ago. Then you have to consider it. But Bill Zito worked very closely with John Tortorella in Columbus. I only covered him the 1 year, and I don't think he's the right fit for this team. Bill Zito now has been around the Florida Panthers 3 years. He's been around John Tortorella 5 or 6. If he thinks that John Tortorella is the right fit, then I have to defer to him. But I think Bill probably saw the same things I did. I just don't think that Tortorella would be a fit with this team. Or maybe they think that that's exactly what this team needs is a Tortorella. I don't know.
George, give us some dates. When does free agency start in hockey? At what point will the Panthers have an opportunity to shake up any kind of a roster in making acquisitions or trades?
Boy, you got me on this one. It's usually July 1st, but I think because of COVID and everything, I think it's been moved. It might be around 4th of July, but it's coming up. It's a month away. It'll be in July. Florida Panthers have some decisions they have to make. They've got, again, they're only $4 million under the cap. So they don't have any room to really make any improvements. They really don't even have any room to sign the players that they've got. Giroux obviously is not, you've got to sign. You've only got, I think, 16, 17 players under contract, and you've only got $4 million. That's not going to go very far. So the Panthers are going to have to make some moves. We talked about that. They're going to have to clear up some space. The Panthers' improvements this year might come via trade. So we'll just have to wait and see on that.
All right. Looking forward to it. We'll be talking about it in July in our Florida Panthers lockdown segment. LennyLocksmith.com, 24-hour locksmith all throughout South Florida. Call them and check it out. LennyLocksmith.com, 855-869-5625. What are you working on Florida hockey now so folks can subscribe and check you out, my friends?
Well, we started our off season looking at the future of players. One of those guys is Mason Marchment. Broke out and had a it's hard to even say a career season because he hasn't really played any NHL. He became an NHL regular this year for the Panthers. He's unrestricted free agent. He's going to get paid. He's going to get himself a contract for the first time in his career. So we looked at his future here in Florida. It doesn't look very good for the Panthers re-signing Mason Marchment. But again, who knows? Maybe they trade somebody to be able to sign him. And we're going to continue that. We're looking at Mackenzie Weegar next. What's Mackenzie Weegar's future in Florida? He's got 1 year left on his contract, and then he becomes a free agent. He's a guy with the kind of statistics that he has. He's going to be able to get himself a very nice contract. We're talking $7+ million. For the right team. So Florida definitely cannot afford that. So what do you do? I mean, what do you do with a guy like Mackenzie Weegar? Do you keep him 1 year knowing that you can't sign him past this season, or do you trade him and try and bring in some other assets, that kind of thing? That would also free up like $3.5 million. So I'm not saying they're going to trade Mackenzie Weegar. I'm not saying they should trade Mackenzie Weegar, but you have to look into the future. Are you going to use Mackenzie Weegar as a rental, or, like you did last year with Frank Vetrano, or do you try and get some assets now? And I'm kind of leaning that maybe Florida, knowing what Mackenzie Weegar's going to command on the open market, and it will be on the open market, they can't afford him.
Vetrano will be in action tonight. There you go.
Frankie Vetrano, 4th round draft pick you got for him.
That's right. So that's right.
You would have gotten probably more for him, but they is what it is when it comes to a deadline deal, trying to create some space. But you don't want to do that with a Mackenzie Weegar. You don't want to. Plus,
good pickup for the Rangers. That's for sure.
Yeah, Mackenzie Weegar, you would not trade at the deadline because you consider yourself a contender. At that point, you just hold on and you keep him. But at this time of year, you could really get some nice pieces for a player like that.
He made a couple
I'm not saying
of,
they will. I'm not saying they should, but they are thinking about it.
And he did make a couple of ugly mistakes there in the playoffs.
He did, and that's why everybody thinks that you're piling on right now. And that's not the case. I mean, he is a very skilled defenseman. He moves the puck very well.
Really good year.
He made a bad move in game 2. No doubt about it. He made it. Yeah, it was a bad play. He cost them game 2 with that play. Yeah. Okay, but that's not what this is about. He's a very talented,
I know. He got a really good year. Yeah.
And he's a big part of this Florida Panthers organization.
Yeah.
You want to sign him. You want to sign him to a long-term extension, but you can't afford it. So,
right. Yeah. Tough stuff. All right. Yeah. Follow him on Twitter at George Richards, and please subscribe to Florida Hockey Now, doing his thing. George, as always, thank you, my brother. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Orlando.
You got it.
Good,
there
brother.
You go. You got it, my brother. Appreciate you. And man, he's a Browns fan. You got to admire that, dude. You got to admire that. Right.
Yeah, but you go from what happened with the Panthers to now you're looking forward to the Brown season? At least we're looking forward to the Dolphins season.
He's
poor George, you got to look forward to what? The Browns?
They got a good team, dude.
They do, but with everything else going on, the drama.
I know. But if they just fix that damn quarterback position, they've put together a hell of a roster. That is the lockdown segment.
This has been the Florida Panthers Lockdown segment, brought to you by A. Lenny Locksmith Services. Count on them 24 hours a day. Call 855-869-5625 or go to the website at alennylocksmith.com.
All righty. Roger Goodell was biting his fingernails when he was at the White House. Okay, I don't know what that means. I need the Big O coffee to stay calm. Well, AG1 is like my coffee today. You can do that. Get a little AG1, athleticgreens.com/Big O. You can do that. And by the way, again, A. Lenny Locksmith, seriously, 24 hours a day. They are amazing. Absolutely amazing. So car keys, house keys, they program car keys. Great people. And don't forget to smash the like button. Very important to smash the like button while you're watching. You know, when sports and business collide, we like doing one thing, and it's called the KSDT Sports Business Report. Well, for those of you that own Androids like Sean here, God, gotta tell you, you lose. But those of us that own Apple, we win. They're rolling out a new feature for sports fans to engage with their favorite teams, leagues, and players from directly within the technology giant's operating system. The iOS 16 updates for iPhones, iPad, and Apple TV were unveiled at the annual Worldwide Developers Conference in California as Apple signaled a continued push into sports and fitness space. The most significant changes are affecting the lock screen and notifications, with the updates offering the potential to engage fans when they're not actively using their phones. The lock screens can now be customized with widgets that display real-time information, meaning sports organizations, publishers can act as third-party developers to create plugins that offer real-time updates, such as scores or commentary. That's cool. So while your phone is hanging around and you're not touching the screen, you'll be able to keep up with the Heat score, keep up with the Panthers score, the Marlins, Canes, Dolphins, all of that. You're in a meeting, can't miss, you don't want to fiddle with the phone, but right there, at least on the screen, you've got the widget going and it's keeping you updated. That's a pretty cool feature. I like that. What's that? You don't what? Well, no.
That's going to cost
No, it comes with the update. So it's normal. Okay. Sorry, Android boy.
I just don't lock my phone and then my apps are open, so it doesn't matter. Why do I need to lock my phone?
You don't have to go into the app now.
Anything.
It's just floating there on the top.
No, I'm saying
keeping you updated. You don't have to hit anything. See, now you got to hit and go into stuff.
No, I'm saying, but if
you can actually be in your meeting and just glance down really quickly.
Leave it open and then bam, it's right there.
See, but
I don't have to lock my phone. Nothing to hide here. Nothing to hide, Apple people.
So a user's favorite team and leagues are synced across all devices, including Apple TV, to power these live activities notifications. Apple showed off that widget that had the score and the play-by-play action for Major League Baseball. The technology giant has a long-standing relationship with North American Baseball League and paired recently a broadcast deal. So there you go. How about that? That's a pretty cool feature. I like that. I like that. That's a very helpful feature when you can't be at the moment messing with the phone, but you still want to keep updated with what's going on. I like it. That is your KSDT Sports Business Report.
This has been the KSDT Sports Business Report. KSDT CPA is one of South Florida's largest and one of the country's fastest growing accounting firms. KSDT is recognized by Forbes as one of the top tax and accounting firms for 2022. KSDT CPA is a full service firm that also excels in crypto. Visit online at ksdtcpa.com or call 305-670-3370.
All right, folks, give me 2 minutes. Quick break here. I got to go to the little boys' room. Anthony Chang is also going to join us coming up in this hour right here on the Big O Radio Show, live from Hialeah Park.
When protecting your family is your priority, there's nothing more important than a roof above the people you love. Call Tommy B. Butts Jr. Enterprises.com, 954-735-9826 or 954-394-1411 and ask to speak to Tommy, the owner. They specialize in all kinds of roofs, led by their highly crafted, skilled, and professional roof mechanics. All of their previous customers have an opportunity to enter their bi-weekly drawings to receive free an exterior impact metal door. Please call for more details. That's Tommy B. Butts Jr. Enterprises.com, 954-735-9826 or 954-394-1411. Trust Tommy to fortify and protect what's most important to you, your family.
Oh, I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
Folks, you can support the hardest working sports talk show in South Florida through Cash App or Venmo. Just search Cash Big O Show. Support us through Cash App or Venmo. Cash Big O Show. We thank you for your incredible support.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
Red, an infrared light, has the capacity to penetrate deep into the cell's mitochondria, potentially leading to increased energy, faster recovery, and the optimal performance your body demands. Red Recover can maximize your efforts by potentially improving cellular metabolism, blood circulation, and muscle recovery. Evolve your training and step into the new era of muscle recovery. Red Recover.
Why is it that you get locked out in the worst moments of your life?
Where are my car keys? Man, I can't find my house keys.
In those frustrating moments, you need a locksmith you can count on. A. Lenny Locksmiths in South Florida, from Miami to Port St. Lucie. In Central Florida, A. Lenny locks it down in Orlando and Tampa Bay. Lockouts or lock changes for home or business. Car key replacements and programming all model cars. 24-hour service. Call them at 855-869-5625. Go to the website at alennylocksmith.com.
The viewpoints, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
The Big O Radio Show is brought to you by Caneswear. Go to caneswear.com, where all orders over $99 get free shipping. Sloman's Total Home Security. Protect your home with the best in the business. 1-800-ALARM-ME for the company serving America for nearly 100 years. 1-800-ALARM-ME. Tommy B. Butts Jr. Enterprises.com. Licensed roofing contractor. 100% financing is available. Go to Tommy B. Butts Jr. Enterprises.com.
When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
All right, we ready to rock. Hour number 4, we await Anthony Chang. Although Anthony Campos says, Big O, did you ever go to a Survivor concert? I did see Survivor in concert. But I didn't go for Survivor. They were just opening up for somebody. I don't remember when. It was a long time ago. It might have been at the Sportatorium, but it wasn't a Survivor concert. But I love how he goes, they just have so many bangers. They do have they actually have more hits than you actually would imagine. I think they have like 3 or 4 of them that are popular. You know, it's not just the 2 fight songs that they have in the 2 Rocky movies, but they actually have like 2 other songs that I think made it. But yeah, no, that's just a Survivor concert. Rest in peace to the singer. I forgot his name, but I know we just lost him like a year and a half or 2 years ago or something like that. Jose says, knowing Pat Riley, he was happy outside, raging inside. He knows what we need to help get Jimmy a championship. Trust the Godfather. I agree. Jamie says, Big O, I was considering stop following the Dolphins if they have traded for Watson, as I think about the example I wanted to set for my kids. And by the way, my daughter is also a fan. You know what, Jamie? I don't blame you. It would have been a disgusting move by the Dolphins to go after that dirtbag. Okay? I know it's a he said, she said, but I'm sorry. I'm believing them, not him. You know? I'm not telling you that they all were there for the right purposes or anything. Maybe a couple weren't, but yeah, it's disturbing. Too many of these women have really stuck together throughout all of this, and that's really tough. I think there's a lot of truths going on, and it's really disturbing. So I personally would have been, you know, anybody that has followed this show knows I did not ever wanted to trade for Watson. At no point did I ever want to trade for Watson. I always said to stuck with Tua. I always said stick with Tua. I've always said you need to fix what's in front of him so he's not the problem. And finally, we think they're going to fix what's in front of him. And if they do, then I think everything else will work out. I'm not worried about it. You know? So I wasn't ever that guy, but I was the guy that I would have been very disappointed. And I would have been really ripping into the Dolphins for trading for Watson. It's just dirty, man. At every level. It's just something that is uncomfortable to watch. And I'm just so happy that the Dolphins aren't involved in all of this. Look, I'd rather deal with the stupid and the silly Tua things that some of you guys come up with. You know, that's all. I'd rather do that, even though it's silly. And I think it's, you know, a lot of the stuff that people come up with Tua is ridiculous, but at least I can, you know, deal with that and put it down. But with Watson, it's a terrible, terrible look. Did Stephen Ross really talk to Watson? I believe Ross knew this would end badly. I don't know. None of us really know the real truth to everything. Heat needs a real big man. Adebayo's not a center. No, I don't. In today's NBA, you can get away with Adebayo. It's more about one of the other pieces becoming, because you can't find a center like the one you really need in today's NBA. It's so hard now. There's very few of them. So he'll work out fine because he can do all the defensive stuff and the dirty work and the picks and all that. You've got to go find another stud, whether it's shooting guard or something like that, or even small forward, because you can move Jimmy to shooting guard. It's really about getting that other guy. You do that, and I think you'll be all right. Favorite album, Big O? It's too many, man. It's too many. I don't think I have one. It's too hard. I can't go with, War from U2 or Number of the Beast from Iron Maiden, or, it's just there's so many great singular albums that I would put that it's just too hard to decide between one or the other. The Cure, The Head on the Door. It'd be hard for me to decide all that. It's too many. Chad is in the house. Good afternoon, sir. Vlad is in. John Young. Sid. Plenty. All right. By the way, sometimes I will cut some of you off with silly talk, and I did it a lot of times with Deebo Samuel. And I did it because whether it was silly trades or things that you think you can acquire the guy, it just wasn't ever realistic. You drafted Waddle. You just signed Tyreek. You're going to also add Deebo Samuel. And time again, I constantly told you guys that they already have Deebo Samuel on the roster, but in multiple forms. And multiple players will play the Deebo Samuel role. So after everything that happened, San Francisco can't afford to let him go. They can't trade him. Plus, Miami really can't acquire him. You're not going to give up your assets that you have. The assets you have, you're hoping you can use those to make the team even better next year. You don't want to use them to acquire a receiver that you don't need, or another quarterback that hopefully you don't need because Tua will be balling. And you've already committed to Tyreek. In 2 years, you'll have to commit to Waddle. You can't pay that many receivers on one team. This is why I told you this was all silly talk and it made no sense. Well, guess what? After missing all the voluntary work, after demanding a trade, all of that, he's staying there. Oh, and by the way, one more caveat I wanted to add to everybody out there. It was a stupid contract too, because Deebo Samuel cannot play the way he plays on a long-term basis. That's why the reports of him wanting to play more like a receiver were out there, because he and his agent probably figured out, yeah, this is cool, but this isn't long-term. Nobody does this. And this is why I didn't entertain so many Deebo Samuel things, and why I shot it down constantly, why I told you it'd be foolish, why I told you it doesn't make any sense, why I told you they didn't need him, and of course, fiscally, it just doesn't fit. Well, in the end, he's a Niner, and he's not going to ever be a Miami Dolphin. We ready? All right, let's talk a little basketball. Anthony Chang and our liquor split Miami Heat report.
Let's tap into the latest with the Miami Heat and our liquor split app Miami Heat reports with insider Anthony Chang. Liquor Split is Miami's own online liquor store. Download, then tap the app and get your favorite liquor delivered to you for just $2.99. No risk, no drinking and driving. Tap that app with Liquor Split. Here's Anthony Chang.
Liquor Split is Miami's liquor store. Download the app, iOS or Android, at Liquor Split and order, man. There you go. Weather is going to be tough at times. Don't get out there and drive in the rain. If you're already drinking at home, don't get behind the wheel. Call Liquor Split. They will take care of you. All right, Anthony, how you feeling, my man? You feeling good?
Good, Big O. How are you?
Very good, very good. Yesterday, I brought it up to Ira, and I asked him, does Pat Riley see what I see? And I think he saw what I saw. And in his press conference yesterday, you kind of get the feeling that he said he was open to, acquiring if there's that player out there
Right.
and all that. And I love the psychological ploy behind it, because he mentions Bam and he mentions Tyler, and he doesn't want to put the kibosh by saying, we need that alpha because we clearly don't have it next to Jimmy on this team. But he left it open to Bam and Tyler to maybe fill that void. But when it was all said and done, did you not get the impression that the Godfather said, yeah, we're open for trading. We're ready to make a move if the move is the right one?
Yeah, I think that was the clear tone of that press conference. And it's not surprising, right? The Heat every offseason are open to making an upgrade if it's available. And if there's a star that becomes available because he doesn't want to play in his team in that market and he wants to move elsewhere, the Heat are going to be in that game. I think we know that. I think, like I said last time we spoke, Big O, the chances are that, look, there's only a few superstars right now that potentially could become available. The chances are it doesn't happen, and the Heat have to come back with much of the same roster. Exactly. I think Pat knows that. And I think that's why he issued challenges to Tyler and Bam, because the Heat's best, most realistic way to taking that next step next season, if they don't make a trade, which, again, is out of their control at this point, it's going to take somebody asking for to be moved, is going to be improvement by Tyler and Bam and taking that next step. So it's going to be internal growth. And you saw kind of Pat issuing that challenge to both those guys yesterday.
Yeah, and listen, in the end, it's what I see with the Heat is, unfortunately, I think Pat looks at it the way I look at it right now, that it's a terrific team if you bring it back, but you really don't. Excuse me, you don't really. Damn, I've been struggling my voice lately here. You really don't have that guy that can complement Jimmy Butler. So you look at it and you say, is it on this roster? No. So I'm going to have to make this move. You know what I mean? And I think in the end, even when these guys retire in 2 to 3 years from now, when Lowry's gone and then Butler's gone a year later, if you really look at it, do you have a centerpiece that can then take over for Jimmy? No, you don't. And I think that's what deep down inside, he kind of committed to finishing this build here, this run here. Well, if he wants to finish it faster, he's going to have to make that trade.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong, Big O. I think you have a point, but I will issue a counterpoint to that.
Okay.
Tyler Herro, I'm not saying he would have gotten this team over the top, but he wasn't healthy in the Eastern Conference Finals. He could have been that second scorer. This team, again, was, I know we don't want to, he made one shot. Shouldn't, I think, this team was one shot away from the finals, right? As presently constructed with injuries,
but
it could very easily be playing in the finals right now.
But it took Jimmy to play like Superman for you to play one. You can't have him play like Superman every game. You can't even expect to be here again at that point next year because Philly's going to come back. Milwaukee's going to come back. They're going to make some kind of moves. Boston's not getting any worse. They're only going to get better with this.
Nothing is the same. Nothing will be the same next year. Though, nothing is static, and that's what the Heat have to consider. But I'm just saying that for as much as we're saying they don't have that second guy that can put them over the top, they've been to the finals once in the last 3 years. We're a couple minutes away from maybe doing 2 in the last 3 years. Boston is, right now, and they have home court advantage in the finals. It could be 3 straight years the Heat lose to the team that wins the championship. The Heat are very close. Yeah, a superstar, another guy next to Jimmy would, put this team to another level. But as presently constructed, if that's what happens, they're going to be a contender. Are they going to make it to the finals? I mean, obviously, who knows? But they're going to be in that group that you say, I wouldn't be surprised if they make it, right? And I think in the NBA, that's kind of all you want, right? That's all you want, to be in that tier. And the second point I will make is Jimmy at 22, which is Tyler's age, Jimmy at 24, Bam's age, was not this Jimmy.
No.
He was not this Jimmy. So I don't think, I'm not saying these guys will turn into a Jimmy.
But they're not wired like Jimmy.
Well, I agree. Jimmy's very unique.
That's part of being a dog. You have to be wired like that. You have to be a son of a bitch. And I still have not seen that from Bam. Does not even possess it. Not even close. He's Barkov and Huberto. Super gifted, but very passive. They don't have. Maybe Tyler. Tyler has a little bit of some in him.
Right.
It just hasn't completely come out yet. Or maybe it never will. I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't know.
But none of them are wired like Butler. That's the thing.
Yeah.
That I could already see. Either you have it or you don't, dude.
Yeah.
Either you're wired like Zoe or you're not. Either you're wired like Timmy or you're not. Either you're wired like Dwayne Wade or you're not. You either have it or you don't. I have not seen it from either. No one on that team outside of Jimmy.
There's only a few guys wired like that. I don't even know if Donovan Mitchell, to throw a name out there, is wired like that. We don't know. We don't know. But I will say Jimmy also, along with that mentality that you're saying that's really unique to him and makes him different, he's gotten a lot better skill-wise, and he's grown as a player. He's become a better all-around player scoring.
Yes.
And, Bam and Tyler will be better players. They will be better players in a few years. Will they be an alpha like Jimmy? Who knows? Like you said, we don't know, especially with Tyler. He's only 22. But all I'm saying is, look, I think the Heat challenge right now is Jimmy's window is now.
Yeah.
He's going to be 33 in a few months. Kyle is 36. PJV comes back is 37. Like, this is the window now. So you can't be waiting on Tyler, to develop into the player he's going to be in 5 years. So they're trying to thread that needle again of you have these young assets and you want to continue to develop them and continue, you don't want to obviously just trade them for a
how
veteran.
about this, Anthony? I'm going to put you in the spot right here.
Yeah.
Because you talk about, well, maybe these guys can turn into it. So I'm going to tell you next year, Lowry's going to come back healthy and Jimmy's going to look good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But it all hinges on Tyler Herro being that guy. If he's that guy, you can win a title. If he's not that guy, well, then you get fired. So what do you do as a general manager?
I mean, unless do I have the option of turning him into a star?
You either got to trade for a stud, or you're saying, no, I'm putting my job on the line with Tyler Herro.
Yeah,
So is Anthony Chang, the GM, going to put his job on the line for Tyler Herro?
At 22, 23 years old, I don't think you could count on him to be that right now in 1 year. But I don't know if there'll be a better player that becomes available. And Tyler's very good. He was the best bench player in the league. He was their most dynamic scorer in the regular season. If you tell me,
but is he wired like John Morant?
I would say, like you said, Tyler has some of that in him.
You keep whipping out 22 on me.
Yeah.
So I just whip out John Morant on your ass.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Either you have it or you don't, bro.
Right.
Either you're Michael Jordan as a sophomore hitting the big shot to win the national championship, or you're not that guy. But Alonzo Mourning was that guy when he was in high school, coming out of high school, going to Georgetown and practicing with the USA basketball team.
Right. But what's the alternative? There's nobody available that you would trade Tyler for at this point. Would you? I mean, what's the alternative?
If Donovan Mitchell wants out, would you?
That's different. I think I would. I would definitely consider it.
Okay.
But I still think it's unlikely. I think Utah is going to do everything they can to build around him and to make sure they get a coach that he likes.
Yeah, I get that. That's a perfect world for them.
Right.
But what about if he wants out?
Yeah, it's gonna take that. It's gonna take that, and it's gonna take him saying, "I want to go to the Heat," because
You know,
there'll be
it's
other teams
happened a
out
lot
there.
here, right? For 20
Oh, there,
years.
no, there have, and it could. I'm not saying it's not gonna happen. I just say the odds are, right, for that specific thing to happen, for him to say, "I want out and I want to go to the Heat." I would say better chances he doesn't do that, right? I mean, there's always a chance he could, but there's other teams out there who will have competitive trade packages as well. So it's
True.
not, like
Yeah.
the Knicks, for instance. I mean, that the Knicks have a lot they can offer.
But does he want to play for the Knicks? Is
He's
the
from
question.
New York. Yeah, that's right. No,
Does he
I
want
think
to play for the Knicks?
Right.
Is the question. You know what I mean? That's that's been brought up a lot. I have yet to see a free agent choose New York yet in the last 20 years. I like they
Amari
don't choose
Stoudemire.
New York, huh?
Amari Stoudemire.
Yeah, with one leg, with no knee, with one knee, he chose New York. I mean, at that time, what was that? That was going to be the big three, right, for them?
That was 2010. That was the same summer as the big three.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess my point is, like, I think the Heat definitely, and we both know this, will consider any player who they think is going to make this team better. But the chances are that most of these guys will be back because, it's hard to envision right now.
Well,
early in the
wait a minute.
offseason.
Hold on a second. You keep saying that the chances are hard.
Yeah.
Yet for 25 years, it's Zoe and Timmy and Mason and Shaq and Jimmy and Bosh
Kyle.
and Braun and somebody always shows up, dude. Somebody shakes from the trees. Somehow or another, they wrangle some kind of star from somewhere.
Right.
Dan Marley comes. Whatever. Oh, we're loaded. We'll still add Eddie Jones and Brian Grant. Because that team was, people don't realize, they think of the Brian Grant, Eddie Jones after everybody left, that they had to put them as the front pieces. But those guys were added as complementary pieces to a loaded freaking team. So this dude's been doing this for 25 years. I got to feel that somebody's going to want to come here next year. I don't know.
Maybe. I think
Give me a wild card name that isn't Lillard, Mitchell, or Beal.
Zach LaVine. I don't think it's going to happen, but he's, Chicago, there's a little bit of question right there of his future with that organization. So I guess that's one, right? That's one.
And I give him credit because I thought he was just going to be like a dunk guy and all. He has turned himself into a player, bro.
But that's why you can't. I think I know the urgency is high again because the window's now. But again, Bam and Tyler are young players. They're gonna get better.
I've never seen Bam Adebayo ever act like Zach LaVine. Ever.
I would say he's better than
LaVine
Zach
thought
LaVine.
he was a star when he was just a dunker.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Even if you're not that guy, I'm trying to think of the guy that, Deion Waiters. Even if you think you're not that guy, but you act like that guy, okay, well, that's half the battle at least.
Right.
I don't see it from those guys. That's
Do you
my
see
problem. A little from
how
time,
do you
but not
how
from
do you feel about the Bam Draymond comparison?
zero comparisons.
The way
Draymond
they play,
is,
not their attitude and the way they play,
But
just
that's
the way they play.
but that's half the battle, doggy. It's the attitude doesn't make Udonis Haslam. Because Udonis Haslam is not gifted athletically. The Lord did not bless him with the kind of ability to have the career he had. But he had the career he had because of that.
Okay.
Right there. And there's certain guys have, or athletes, women, men, doesn't matter. I don't care who you are. They have that hunger to want to be great. Whether they are or not, we don't know. We argue about it. We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
But there's that drive that doesn't stop, bro. Like Westbrook wants to be that guy. Never really got to that point, no matter how much we talk about his crazy ass stats. But he always played with that. Still plays like that to this day. Even though he'll play inefficient, he'll do things that Allen Iverson did in the past that don't necessarily translate to winning at times. But sometimes he'll overcome it because that drive is there. You know what I'm saying? And so some of those nights will go well for him, and all of a sudden it looks better than what it is. You have to at least possess that. And that's my problem, that we're already several years in with Bam. I'm done. It's like Barkov and Huberdeau. I'm done. Dude, I know who you are now. You're talented, but you're not the guy. You know what I mean? And that's the edge. Jimmy is just like UD. How many small forwards, power shooting guards are way more talented than Jimmy Butler? But how many of them have half the heart and determination of Jimmy Butler? And that's what makes Jimmy Butler Jimmy Butler. Hell, he made me call him a superstar because I always thought Jimmy was an all-star.
Right. How can you not after these two of the last three playoffs? Right.
How can you? You got to take the L. And I got to take the L and say, dude, I'm dead wrong. That guy's a superstar.
Yeah.
The way he plays. He may not be as gifted as LeBron, as Shaq, as Wade, as many superstars that we can point at, but he's got the same heart and determination they all do. And that's
right.
That's what separates you. And that's what I don't see from Bam. And that's why I can't ever expect him to be that guy that Jimmy needs. Tyler, I'll give it to you a little bit because he's still young. But then on the flip side, I'll tell you, well, there's some young guys that, most of them. Magic Johnson.
Yeah.
From the get-go. Oh, Kareem's out? No problem.
Sure.
I'll play center at rookie. And
those
I'll
are
get
all-time
40 and
greats.
20.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying?
At this point, we don't need an all-time great next to Jimmy. We need an all-star. We need an all-star caliber player.
Yeah.
And Bam was that 2 years ago, and he might be that again next year. But
it's got to be all-star / franchise.
Yeah.
Like you're on the brink of being a franchise player because you have to have that want, that need, that desire. And that's the only thing I don't see from Bam.
Yeah.
That he is content with whatever you give him. Superstars are never content. They always want more. They want the ball more. They want to run the ball more. They want to shoot the ball more. They want to throw the ball more. Whatever it is, they want the ball.
Yeah.
That's what's
whether it happens or not, we saw the message that Pat sent out yesterday. And if, again, this roster is back, or for the most part back, it's going to be on Bam and Tyler to improve and try to be that guy or try to turn into that guy. And we'll see what happens. But there could be a change made in the next few months that maybe that, Tyler's not on this team in a few, next season. But if they are, those are going to be the two guys that are going to be relied on to provide more, to take this team to the next level. So we'll see.
Amen. All right. One more thing before I let you go. We talked about it. Everybody's talked about it. He did not dance around it.
Yeah.
The Kyle Lowry thing. Yes. Obviously, he was not happy with his conditioning. Are you hearing anything from, because you guys didn't get to talk to Kyle Lowry,
right,
to ask him personally, unfortunately, but are you hearing anything from his side, his camp, those kind of things on what went on with his conditioning this year?
Well, I spoke to someone close to Kyle, actually yesterday after Pat's presser, and he said, Pat's comments did not come as a surprise. Kyle doesn't need to be told. He knows he needs to come into camp in better shape next season. He's working toward, I know everyone says this, but being in the best shape of his career or close to it next season. And Pat said it. Look, he missed a lot of games this year, personal reasons. It was a challenging year for a lot of reasons, mostly because of the family issue he was dealing with. This year that kept him away from the team for weeks at a time. It kind of took his focus off basketball for those, for that stretch. So again, I know people were kind of wondering how Kyle would take those comments from Pat, where Pat basically said he needs to be in better shape. Kyle knows he needs to be in better shape. So there was no friction or anything like that. He knows he needs to come into camp next year in much better shape than he was this year.
Can you imagine if he argued it?
Yeah, right. Well, there was I don't know, how Twitter is, but there were fans saying that Kyle was going to be really upset at those comments because of what he was dealing with this year. But again, from what I've been told, that's already been, the message has been relayed to him, and he agrees he needs to be in better shape next season.
Well, let's hope he does it, my brother, because You know, it's going to be really, really important. I don't expect him to be the Robin. You know, listen, I talked about this before. DeRozan and Lowry, for many years, they tried to be the Batman and Robin to carry the Raptors over, and they couldn't do it. They needed to go trade for the star, the real star that was the real franchise player. So even a young Lowry was not the guy that can get you over the top, but he has to be better as a complementary player to Jimmy. And that's, to me, ultimately, I'm hoping Jimmy's the one that's kind of busting his balls. Yeah. And by the way, did you pick up on Riley's line? What was it? And reminders you guys sent out about this.
Yeah.
Okay. I just want.
So we're doing patch job for him right now.
All right. So as long as you guys are writing that he was as fat as Alzagari, you're all good. You're all good. Okay.
Pat Riley, let me tell you, 45 minutes of gold every summer.
Always.
Never fails. He's just one of the best press conferences in sports.
Yes. Always, and so much meat on the bone.
Oh God,
it's not even funny.
It's gonna last me 2 months.
Yeah, you're right.
2 months of content.
yeah, you're gonna be able to write more stories out of. Like, now I picked up on this now. Yeah, he's kind of and so just one of those deals. Yeah, he's simply amazing. What are you working on in the Herald so folks can check you out, my friend?
Actually, we were speaking about the message that Pat sent Bam and Tyler. I think that was, other than the Kyle Lowry stuff and Pat saying they're open to making a move if something presents itself, I think the most interesting thing from the press conference was what he said about Bam and Tyler and what it could mean for this team next season. Because I think, again, there's one of two ways this can go this offseason. Either he make a big change, they make a big splash and add a star, kind of be Jimmy's co-star, or most of his core is back, and Bam and Tyler are going to be relied on to do a lot more. So I explored that in today's piece. So check it out at MiamiHerald.com.
And subscribe there to the Herald and support Anthony and all the exceptional writers there at the Miami Herald. Anthony, as always, my man, thank you. Appreciate your insight, my friend.
Thanks, Big O.
You got it. Days. Yes, sir. We will talk in a couple days. That is Anthony Chang and our Liquor Split Miami Heat report.
You're now tapped into the latest with the Miami Heat. This has been the Miami Heat Liquor Split Report with insider Anthony Chang. Download the Liquor Split app and enjoy your favorite drinks at wholesale prices. Delivered right to your door in minutes with a flat fee of $2.99. VIP lifestyle without the VIP prices. Tap that app with Liquor Split.
Hails to the air. Tap that app. We love tapping that app. Yes, sir. We also love Sloman's. There's our man, Alarmo, right there, protecting my home, protecting his home, protecting his family, protecting my family, protecting his dogs, protecting my dogs. And you can do it too. Protect your family. Also, our Sloman Shield, baby. We are giving away right now. First 40 Big O listeners, 1-800-ALARM-ME. That's 1-800-ALARM-ME. They're standing by right now for your phone call. Tell them that Big O sent you. We're giving away that free doorbell camera, which connects directly to your smartphone. And you love that because you're always connected. It's a beautiful thing. And when you use our low-cost central station monitoring, you're going to get an LED touchscreen pad, a motion detector, 3-arm doors, and a backup battery. And our professional installation, you're going to love it. We also take the time to explain everything to you. The installers are just listen, if they can explain it to a dummy like me, and by the way, I can easily use that keypad, any of you out there can figure it out, okay? So if a dummy like me can figure it out, you guys can figure it out. 1-800-ALARM-ME. That's 1-800-ALARM-ME. Protect your home, protect your business with the Sloman's Shield. Yes, sir.
Raekwon Davis was the orange jersey today, so they get to choose the music.
Nice.
So it's your music guy, Raekwon Davis. What music do you think you went with?
I'm going to go, he reminds me of a Kendrick Lamar, Frank Sinatra, the Commodores, and he's going to rock out with a little Linkin Park.
All right, we'll start with the first song, Dixieland Delight by Alabama.
Wow. Okay.
The Payback, James Brown.
Okay.
Sweet Home, Alabama, Leonard Skinner.
Leonard Skinner.
Yeah.
Wow, I like it. Well, he is from the South, so he does like a little Southern rock.
Mini Men, 50 Cent.
Okay.
Love and Happiness, Al Green.
Oh, nice song, too.
If I Ain't Got You, Alicia Keys.
Amazing talent. What a voice that woman has. Damn, Alicia Keys is talented. Holy moly. What else?
No, Marcel tweeted out that Tua threw it he threw a pick six to Duke Riley today in the 7-on-7s.
Right.
By the way, no Tyreek Hill, no Mike Gesicki today in the practice. Okay. So then Barry came back and he quote tweeted him. This was the only INT thrown by Tua during the 5 practices open to media this offseason. Reporters won't be back until first day of training camp.
Barry's actually been a Tua.
Yeah, but
wow.
Good
for you, Barry.
Yeah, but Marcel only just said that, that, hey, that was but he said, Marcel goes, correct. The offense has been relatively unspectacular this offseason during the portions available to the media, but Tua has protected the ball until today.
Right.
So it's just funny. It's just, it's where they're at right now. And Robert Hunt does like that they went from going, he talked with Omar, with the media, but Omar put out some of his things. He says, looks like he put out some more stuff. Sorry. I had it right here. We went from an inside zone to a duo in power. We got them guessing. It's the type of offense I love.
Okay.
So when he looks at it.
All right. Duke Tomlinson says, Big O, I prefer the old Dolphin logo on the helmet and the throwback jerseys. Well, Duke, of course. Brother, if you meet a Dolphin fan that would rather have the new logo, that person should not be allowed to be a Dolphin fan. That's all. Look, I can deal with some of you that say, oh, I like the logo. Whatever. You're a fan. You'll like everything that they do or whatever. I mean, if you like that logo, you like anything that they do, obviously. But, yeah, that's the worst logo. It's just disgusting on every level. Everything about that logo is gross. Looks like a whale. It is a whale. Oh, see, it is a whale. I didn't even know. I didn't know we were called the Miami Whales now. Had no idea. Thank you for telling me that. By the way, tomorrow we'll be in studio. And then Thursday we're going to be, oh, yeah, just like it. Yeah, that's the logo. Yeah, that's pretty much, yeah, that seems like it. Bottlenose dolphin. I mean, whale. Bottlenose whale. There we go. John Young says, love some naked fun. Not sure why. Why did that tweet come? Why does that text come in? Oh, the bots. Oh, okay. Oh, naked fun. Oh, I see naked fun. I got you now. Eminem says, will Jeremy Grant or Christian Wood be available? I like Christian Wood. But here's the thing, guys. You cannot, yesterday Riley addressed the whole thing about playing two bigs. They will never play two bigs unless one of the bigs can shoot a three. And I'm talking about like a consistent 3-point shooter. Not a guy that occasionally hits we're not talking Jimmy Butler like 3-point shooter. No. I'm talking about somebody that is a legitimate big man that can stretch the floor as a 4 or 5. Because it really doesn't matter in today's world. You're big enough, you can probably play both. So to me, this whole thing, because, Ira asked about it. Riley talked about it yesterday. And that's the one thing that I would say in today's world, in today's NBA, if you're going to play two big men, in a perfect world, they both shoot. So it's interchangeable. And they can come off, out of the box and get back behind the line, and they can switch up, and you can bring the big men out, you know what I mean? Or the big men can cheat. If only one of them can shoot, then the switches will be less, and they'll be able to stay with the guy that can't shoot. You know what I'm saying? So in today's world, you got to find big men that can shoot the three on a consistent basis. So to me, that's the key. We can name all kinds of people whether Jeremy Grant's available or not, or Wood, or any other big man that became available or is available or not, the key will have to be that they're three-point shooters. Okay? Because I'm already tired of hearing about Bam. He's not even a consistent two-point shooter. He can't even develop a consistent 15-foot jumper. And if he has it, well, then display it, dude. Let's go. Don't give me occasional crap. Show up. So if you're going to play a big man next to Bam, got to be a dude that can stretch it. Heat Fins, thank you for the love on the super chat. He says, if we end our playoff win drought this season, we have to wear the throwbacks from now on. Should be wearing the throwbacks every day anyway. And Eric Simon has the right attitude. Original logo is the only logo. Exactly. A whale might be appropriate on Lowry's jersey. It's very good. Very good. I got to go with that one. That was good. That was good. Bosch was the ultimate three-point center. We need a Dirk-type shooter. Yeah, John Rouse. I would love that. I think everybody in the world needs a Dirk-type shooter. Let's see, a 6'10", 6'11" guy that is all net. Yeah, we'll take that. That sounds like a plan. All right, let's wrap it up here at Hialeah Park. We thank Anthony Chang, George Richards, Manny Navarro, and Cameron Wolfe. By the way, Omar Kelly normally joins us, but he was when Cameron joined us, it was before practice started. Practice was going on in the middle of the 12 o'clock hour when Omar was going to be with us. So he'll join us tomorrow on the program. We are going to be absolutely freaking loaded tomorrow because Wednesdays is a loaded deal. Yes,
and I was going to say they're still doing player interviews as well.
Right.
So.
Yeah, he told me he had to work, and I have no problem with that. We got to adjust. I like this anyways because tomorrow we'll get Omar talking about everything he saw. So, yeah. But tomorrow it'll be, instead of one interception, it'll be 3 interceptions for Omar. Right?
And also, Omar did put down that he threw a touchdown, but he made sure to put down to a wide open, there must have been busted coverage.
But you know what? Cigar Social Club, I'm going to give you love. I did already today, but tomorrow we're going to give you more love because we're going to bust Omar's balls tomorrow to have some fun. Because Omar's like, well, the offense doesn't look good. I should know what it looks like. And then he reminded me this morning that Omar was bragging about Albert Wilson the entire time. Remember that Albert Wilson this, Albert Wilson that. And I'm like, dude, he's doing it in shorts. And then eventually when the shorts came off and the pants came on, Albert Wilson wasn't running routes the wrong way. No, the right way. He was running backwards. He was dropping footballs. He was going behind the first down marker. I mean, he was doing all kinds of stupid ass stuff. Okay, so we've got to obviously bust Omar's balls on that tomorrow and have some fun with that. We got to thank the Brunetti family, as always, for being great sponsors of our program for so many years and allowing us to broadcast here every Thursday. Normally, I know Tuesdays today, but remember, we're going up north over the weekend, so we will not be in town. Again, I really want to make this an event every Thursday. I was thinking about this. We have all these chairs, tables. We got great food being served. We got lovely ladies that are going to be serving you the food there. So, you got the poker tables right here. You got all the TVs everywhere. So if there's any sports going on or news breaking or whatever, you'll find it all out there, all that. So, I'm telling you, if you guys start bringing a crowd here, then I can start dishing out some prizes and have some fun. So would love to build that up. Remember, please, to hit the like button whenever you're watching the YouTube channel or listening on the podcast. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Big O Radio Show, and subscribe to our new backup channel, our second channel, not a backup channel. It's our second channel because we're going to do some other things. Big O Show Cuts. Look for it, Big O Show Cuts, and subscribe. Last time I checked, by the way, we did go over 300. We were at 305 the last time. Yeah, NorCal was 300. Nice. We're at 308 there. So Thank you now. So if you haven't subscribed, it's at 308. Let's get 92 more in the next 24 hours. Let's get to 400, man. That would be nice. We got to get it to 1,000. So if you can help us get Big O Show Cuts to 1,000, that would be absolutely phenomenal. After that, we can, after that, it's all icing on the cake. All right. Appreciate all of you out there. Thank you all for supporting the show. Whether you made a donation, visit our sponsors. If you don't visit our sponsors, you won't be around very long. So visit our sponsors. We thank, of course, Sean Stanley mastering this program. We will see you tomorrow. Same time, same place, same bat channel. Have a great one.
This is the Big O Show.